Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into another stream with Cross of Judgment. Just to let you know, Steve here was talking shit about Wes Moast videos, and Wes Moast was in the lobby listening to all of it.
Yeah.
I was waiting. That was some morning zoo shit. You guys, he got set up, Steve. So now, well, I mean, Steve is gonna tell me how he would do this better. So
yeah, of course.
Everyone's waiting. So go ahead. And if you could break it down like 10 points. 10 points.
1 to 10. 10 points.
With one being the
one main point, I guess.
Yeah,
let's
go.
The only thing. Because you put like a lot of those clips in, like how would I describe them? Like kind of like Family Guy, like you just throw a clip in,
like a non sequitur.
Yeah.
It's called a cutaway, Steve.
It is
a cutaway. That's what they're called. A cutaway. I just think the cutaways themselves could be a little better, but they're not your actual content.
So the cutaways aren't good enough.
Hold on. Actually, let me go to my favorite cutaway in your video. Since Steve brought it up, okay? Steve, since he brought it up, I'm going to my favorite part. I had it pulled up.
Bring them up again later.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. I moved around between. I saw that you were on with Chris Hansen, right?
Yeah,
it tripped me out because I started to watch it and I was like, wait, he's just playing your video.
No, so I made that video for his channel, actually.
Okay, I got so confused by that. God damn it, I lost my place. God damn it, Steve. See what you did?
Where was your place?
It was the part with the Archipelago group.
The
quartet.
It's like that's like 4 minutes quartet. Or some shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
The one-man barbershop quartet.
Yes, that was my favorite thing. Honestly, I'm not joking.
No, I get it. I mean, I've had that since May, waiting to use it. But I kind of quit YouTube actually in June, and was done. I wasn't really gonna make content, and then I got served with some more bullshit domestic violence paperwork on September 11th. So that kind of brought me back.
And so that was from this Muse person?
Yeah, it's the same person. Still yeah.
Okay. I have the clip.
And like the initial reason you quit because of the Muse person as well.
No.
Okay. So Steve, you think that this isn't quality content? Hold on.
And I walked away vindicated. The court never got to hear my case, but I imagine if they had, the 4-person singing jury they sometimes use in my state would have made the following verdict.
Don't live with Muse, cause if you do, she'll you over, old or new. She found good folks and she tricked them. She said, hey, I'm a victim. All those stories turned out to be crap. Don't forget the Cash App.
Okay.
That guy's good. I don't like Elmo, but like I know that other people like Elmo. So that's
a callback. That's what that's called. Because so Vince, that's actually something called Wesame Street that was brought on because of your boy Vince Nicotra.
Okay, so, actually, I want to talk about Vince Nicotra, but just to address a couple of the comments here. Apathetic viewer said you better fucking grill him on Repsion shit. Dude wouldn't back down after you refuted his video. I forget where we left off with that, honestly, Wes.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually came in and said that I was willing to take another look. I don't remember not backing down or shirking away from anything. I made it really clear that was an opinion. It was the opinion of one lawyer, and if you guys wanted to get your own lawyer and have them review it, then I'd be willing to take a second look as well. But here's the thing, like that's someone else's. So I would love to be able to just sit around and look at other people's lives and their drama and dig into that. But when I have one person accusing me of being a serial killer, I'm going to court twice for domestic violence with a girl I haven't seen in 8 months.
More important things.
I got another girl who was arrested in March for stalking me, who's coming back now talking about making an exposed video because I broke up with her after 4 weeks. And then I've got Vince, who had been doxing me for a year. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I mean, like, my opinion is still the same on. I made a judgment call. Just sometimes people are going to disagree, and
and to be clear here, we disagreed on it. Right?
Yeah, we did.
You came on.
We did. And I came on and we disagreed. We did.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of it was just the way that you do your video, right? You told me about how you felt about the Colton situation. I disagreed with you, but you did come out very clearly and say, hey, it's just your opinion. You talked to this one person.
Yeah,
just because one legal expert came out. Yeah, just because one legal expert or lawyer said one thing, that doesn't mean that they're all going to agree. I mean, we have a Supreme Court with like more than one justice on it because they ain't always going to agree.
I mean, if it was
what just happened in the court case with you, right? Like
exactly, you know, like I had a lawyer who was 100% that I was I was right, and her lawyer thought differently and thought that me posting a picture of this bullshit ass restraining order I had been served with was somehow a violation of a temporary restraining order. So everyone's going to interpret the law differently, and you know, maybe I happen to have a lawyer who felt one way, but I don't really want to go back and visit some shit from 6 months ago when everything that's happened in my life since is far more important to me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just wanted to address it because someone left the comment at like 8:00.
No,
right?
I get it. And, no, I get it, and I still get people who message me and shit like expecting a reply.
About the rep stuff.
Yeah, about the rep stuff.
Yeah. There's still people who are upset about it. But
look, I'll be clear. I just want to bring that up now before we really get into things because that's not the purpose of the stream. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I have my opinion on it. I've said my opinion on it, and you know what? Colton doesn't like me very much because I told him he can't come on my channel, right? Because 18 and over, a lot of stuff we discuss, and I had people trashing me for having him on one time, right? Like I can't have him on my channel, and he got pissed and he got upset with me, and I said nothing I can do, right? But I still feel the exact same way that I did before. I haven't changed my opinion. You haven't changed yours. I'm fine with that, right? Because the thing is, again, I did this whole thing where I was talking about it yesterday. I don't hold grudges with people. Like I try not to. There's certain things that I really can't let go. But like this was just, we went into it. You're not a bad person. You were telling me that, the way that you looked at it like it was your kid, the way Colton was behaving. And honestly, it took me a while, but I understood. I really did.
I mean, that's and maybe it's just being brought up in a different time, where I called everyone's parents was the Miss and their last name. And, like my kids' friends, they call me my first name, and that's just how it's just different. And that's fine. It would be like having me on here to argue politics and, you're backing Trump clearly, Steve. And I'm not arguing by. Well, I'm just saying you like to talk shit, so I just assume that's the kind of guy you are.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The worst thing about Steve has nothing to do with Trump. It's about his love of Leafy.
I think
Canadian, though. I can't even
he'll just talk shit about me while I'm outside the room.
Okay. Let me just address one thing. Sorry, just real quick. But innocent until proven guilty, yada, yada, yada. Colton's fine with you. He has nothing against you. Colton, I appreciate you coming in to watch the stream. Okay? Get off the alt. I already told you can't be here, buddy. It's adult stuff going on right now. But, I appreciate you being in here. Stop spamming my chat. All right? Again, we're done with your situation. There's nothing I can do, okay? Respect you. Respect what you've been through. I'll always have the same opinion about it, but this is the sort of stuff that you shouldn't be doing anymore, okay? Because it's only going to be bad for you. Anyways, if that account keeps going off, someone just put them on timeout for a couple minutes. Anyways, the purpose of having you on is first off, you put out this very interesting tweet, okay? And I need to know more about it. I need to know more about it.
More specific.
Okay. This is what was it? I think maybe 40 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. Let me see if I have it. Here we go. 4 hours ago, sorry. Sneak peek. Do you know what or who led to Vincent Nicotra being arrested earlier this year? What if I told you it was a deep undercover mole who gained his trust over 4 months? It's another crazy story I was pulled into against my will, and it will finally be told. What is this?
Well, first of all, I think, Steve, what did you think of that reading? Would you have done it differently?
What, of the rules?
The way he read it. What would you say? If he wasn't in the room and it was just you and me and he was outside the door listening, would you, and you rated it 1 to 10, what would your rating be? Like a 3?
Yeah, I was going to say 3.
See, I thought so. See, that's just who Steve is.
I know Steve doesn't give anyone credit. Look, Wes. Here's the thing, right? My whole thing is it's just my personality, right? That's what people watch the channel for.
I know that's what they're here for, but not Steve. He's here to be a hater. It's fine, Steve.
They're here to watch Steve generally, get a little baked and have trouble.
That's fine. And we could talk to Grossi later, but stop messaging me right now. I'm trying to do my thing. So this is about it's about Vince Nicotra, and on New Year's Eve, that's 1 year since it wasn't the first time he doxed me, but it was the first time he doxed me to 4,000 or whatever followers on Twitter that night, claiming that I guess he had gotten in trouble for some Onision postings he had done a few days earlier. And he blamed that on a hacker, and there was something else he blamed on a drunk relative because Vince doesn't like to tell the truth. And so I was on a RSN stream with Yap Yap, someone else who he had doxed a couple of months earlier, and we were just talking about our experiences with Vince, and all of a sudden the stream goes down, and then he starts doxing us like right then. I mean, so we're on a stream talking about this dude doxing us. He takes the stream down and starts doxing us at that moment. My name, picture, what I do, and telling people that I'm a hacker, and I'm working with this Canadian girl who's also a hacker, and that people need to watch out for me because I'm dangerous. And I'd worked with Vince before for months before that. I mean, he knew exactly who I was. He knew no one was fucking hacking him, but we had uncovered this scam. He was trying to say that he had built these websites from scratch and all custom coded, and they were free scripts. So and that came out on New Year's Eve, like 12 hours earlier. So there was zero coincidence there. But so that was the beginning of the end for Vince with Chris Hansen. It took another month, and then it was like there was a laptop, the thing, and that kind of pushed it over the edge. But
I have to say, Vincent Nicotra taught Chris Hansen a great lesson. You get what you put in, right? Got Vincent Nicotra for absolutely nothing, and Vincent Nicotra did absolutely nothing for it.
That's the thing, though, man. There were so many people who are willing to work for nothing. This is Chris Hansen, who, regardless of where he is now or people's feelings on him now, this dude was on Dateline NBC. I mean, he's covered big things. If you're in journalism school, if this is what you want to do, and Chris Hansen walks into any journalism school in America, there'll be a lot of hands raised to work free for him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the easiest way of saying it is, like, even with everything that's come out about Chris Hansen being arrested, right? Yeah, all the shit about Chris Hansen, right? There are still people to this day, if you say the name Chris Hansen, are only going to remember him for To Catch a Predator and are going to respect the shit out of him for doing that, right? Well, yeah, regardless of what he actually did for the show, right? That's what they're going to remember.
Well, I mean, like, you ask my mom who Chris Hansen is. She doesn't know shit about checks or anything. She remembers the dude from Dateline, the tall dude. Yeah. That's what people remember. Most, the general person remembers that. They don't know anything about the other stuff going on. So, I mean, that was my point, though. A lot of people are willing to work for free. Why Vince and why for so long? I don't fucking know. But so there were some things that went on, and there was someone who got Vince's ear, and slowly they were able to work their way into Vince's inner circle, and that's what led to his downfall. And I mean, I have all of the messaging, I have everything, and
what are we reading right over here? Okay, because this is the first image posted.
Yeah. So right here, this is in February. So this is like a month or 2 months maybe before everything fell apart for him, and there ended up being proof of what he was doxing, because that was the issue with a lot of it before, is that you couldn't exactly say who was doing what, and this guy's in another state and he could just claim I'm not doing shit, but he was dumb enough to provide that proof of what he was doing. But this person who was gaining his trust was saying, yeah, people are comparing me to you. And he was like, that's good. You want people comparing you to me, because that means you are successful and don't drink the Kool-Aid. Meaning you're not just going to follow whatever. You're not going to follow all the proof that tells you Vince Nicotra is a piece of shit. You're going to just be like, nah, he's not. I don't drink that Kool-Aid. I don't believe those receipts, many receipts. I only believe I just believe what Vince says. So, and at this point, I mean, this was long past. His name was already dirt. I mean, Vince Nicotra, you Google that dude, and you get a lot of crazy stuff that comes up. None of it good, and that had already been done. So
I am going to do that right now as you're talking.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. But him telling this mole like, oh yeah, it's good that you were compared to me, is it just sounds like something out of, one of those movies where someone's getting brought into a cult or any of those things, and they're telling you only the weak will tell you that you're like me because they fear strength, and that's what this was. This was like Count Darth Vader.
I was sitting there going like, if anyone ever compared me to Vince fucking Nicotra,
right? Like,
I would take it as a personal insult.
Insult.
I would challenge them to a duel at dawn.
Yeah, no one's gonna call you. No one's gonna say that you're anything like Vince, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
no joke. I'd rather be called a racist than be called Vince Nicotra.
You know who you remind me of right now? Vince Nicotra. Like, there's nothing that you can say.
You bastard! Get off my channel.
Thanks, Steve.
Like Vince Nicotra is a racist, and he's like another.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like every bad thing that you can be. That's Vince Nicotra. The dude had like some alleged substance abuse issues, which were pretty apparent on that deity live stream that he did on New Year's Eve. Because that dude was animated and boastful, much different than when I actually got him on the phone and he wanted to cry and he was just stammering his way through it.
Well, I mean, let's
be
fair. Let's be fair. Okay, let's be fair. As far as like a tiering system, right? There's pedophile. There's Vince Nicotra. They're like there. They're like right there.
I mean, well, like in terms of if you're bringing this dude home to like meet the parents.
Because
they're gonna Google, and like, yeah, he didn't diddle kids, but like, he's still Vince Nicotra. Like, it's not much better.
Yeah, the dude's just a fucking psychopath. Okay, so let's go into the next image here. But my God, okay, sorry. So yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna read this part over here. He has experience and history. Let's see how long the rest last. I think Wes is working with Chris, and that blows my mind. He doesn't like you, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so really? Didn't Wes not like him or something at one point? I think. No one can say for sure. Yes, but now he does. There's moles everywhere, as I said before. He's fucking telegraphing his play right there. He's warning Vince of moles.
That's when you're reading this back now. When you're reading it back now, it's like, that's funny shit. But at the time, I thought that he was making it pretty obvious that this was a troll or whatever you want to call it, catfishing. I don't, it was a finesse for sure. But so who they were talking about above, I can't really get into what he has experience in history. But Vince was predicting that everyone was going to fail. The thing was going to fall apart without Vince, because how do you put on a second-rate piece of shit production without that guy? You don't. You just improve things, because him being gone is automatically an improvement. But so I don't remember if this was right after Chris had done an apology to some of the people that Vince had been messing with, over that course of time, or if it was, I might have made a video about something. I don't really remember, but he caught wind that that Chris and I were on decent terms, and that worried the shit out of him, because that's what he always wanted to say, that I was just jealous because he was working for Chris Hansen, but I work and I get paid for my work, so why would I be jealous of his shitty volunteer work? That didn't really make any sense to me. So the last,
you were one of the first people to call out Chris too for his shenanigans, right?
Well, yeah.
You don't want to work with Chris.
Baked Salmon and I were, we were the first out of the gate with that, and we got a lot of, like cross eyes, even in our own community. People thought we were way out of line.
Until he fucked himself over and employed Angry Slug and Vince.
Vince was there from the start with the return, and that was why it was only a month after they got back on. They came back on April 1st, And I think our first video came out in May about like, hey, there's something going on with this this Chris Hansen return. So the last thing Vince said to me on New Year's Eve, you know, as he was doxing me and gloating about it and telling me that he was going to ruin my life, was that, you know, I know you so badly want to have a seat with Chris Hansen, and I'm going to make sure that that happens. You know, trying to say that he was going to make an example out of me, and him and Chris will be talking about me. But that worked out because, you know, now I have worked with Chris on several times, just not in the way that he was thinking. So that would, you know, that's got to be bad for Vince. That's not what he was.
That's just gotta really burn him.
Yeah, yeah. He was hoping that, you know, that he kept saying, "Oh, I'm the one who made you." Like, so this guy, while everything else was going on, I have this fucking girl trying to claim I trafficked her. I've got, you know, she's filing charges. I'm hiring lawyers and shit. He's messaging me going, "Without me, you're nothing. You know, I'm your Mona Lisa."
What?
I made you. Like, he wanted to take credit.
Mona Lisa. Holy
shit.
Because
he's saying, well, and on New Year's Eve last year, I had like 140 subscribers or something like that. And then when he made up these lies about me, and then he's going on Drama and Opinions, and he said that we made that video talking about his projects just because we were jealous, and because I wanted a job and he wouldn't hire me. But like, bitch, you're not getting paid. Like, how are you going to hire me? And so I had proof because he tried to love. Yeah, well, that's fine.
To be fair, that is how I pay Steve. So.
Oh yeah, no, I could tell, and that's why he's so full of hate.
No,
Mona Lisa. Okay, so yeah, no, Vince Nicotra is a total joke, but I did Google Vince Nicotra just to see what would pop up. So let's all take a look at that together. Let's see if it's as crazy as you say it is. In response to Vincent Nicotra, the aftermath. This could ruin any of Chris Hansen's credibility. Vincent Nicotra. Was Vincent Nicotra behind the Chris Hansen harassment?
Just imagine. And everyone, and like, they all have his picture, so it's clearly fucking him. Like that.
Reddit post. What is going on with Vincent Nicotra? Oh boy.
Right, so I mean, the only thing that's kind of frustrating is, you know, where's the baked salmon? Like, we were first out of the gate. Where's our video? Why don't we get to be on page one?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. All these other, you know, it did kind of suck because you were actually one of the first people to call it out. And I remember at the time you were talking about it, and I looked into it. You know, the stuff that you had said, it was on your channel. You were digging into it pretty deep from the start, and then you go into all these other commentary channels. You think that one of them would like credit you for like fucking calling it out.
No, because we were too early. And so even when the Vince stuff first happened, there were drama channels who had contacted me, but they said they were unable to talk about it because it could lead to them being canceled, because people would say you're interfering with the Onision investigation. I actually had people message me and tell me, you need to stop bitching, stop being a bitch. Who cares if he's doxing you? This Onision thing is way bigger than you. Wait until it's done and then go after him. But for now, like, I stand with what the fuck's her name?
Oh God,
the girl in Canada, Shiloh.
Yeah,
I stand with Shiloh, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Shiloh? Why is Shiloh? But then I realized it's Canadian, so that must be what it is. That's why people want to stand with Steve, and they want to stand with Shiloh, but fuck Wes Moast.
Yeah, no, okay. Real quick, I just have to say this, right? You know, shameless shilling going on. I resisted it for 23 minutes, sir. Guys, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this stream. Do me a favor, hit like. I see there's like 20-something plus people. There's only 9 likes and not a single dislike, which is blowing my mind because we always get at least one, okay? And now I'm going to have people rush to dislike it. But also, again, we are giving away 3 copies of Cyberpunk 2077 to our subscribers. We just need to hit 1,200 subs by January 1st. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on any of the videos that we upload. Hopefully, you'll be the lucky winner. But to get there, we do need you to share out the content, share out the streams, post on social media. And tonight's going to be a fun one. So why wouldn't you want your friends to be here with you? Okay, I had to do that. You know, shameless self-promotion. Okay, so I did want to talk about this the domestic abuse.
Real quick though, that video's coming out on New Year's Eve. I got some special guests that are going to be in that one.
Ooh, okay,
that's going to be a big one to celebrate my Doxiversary. So,
Doxiversary, nice.
I actually, before we jump into the, I guess it's this Muse person, that whole situation. The way that you actually came onto our channel the first time, I remember Vincent Nicotra, for whatever fucking reason.
No, that was the second time. That was the second time.
Was it? We sent you a questionnaire. We sent you a questionnaire.
Right. So you guys did send me a questionnaire.
Yeah. And then I was a dick. I was an absolute dick.
But I thought I'd already been on that time. And then
No, you hadn't been on yet. This is before that. This is before that.
That's funny.
When you first came on, it was not scheduled. It was not planned. We didn't ask you to come on.
Yeah.
It was Vincent Nicotra was in our chat talking shit about you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you heard about it. I think somebody had told you. You came into the chat and we said, okay, why don't you guys both come on here, right? We'll mediate everything. You guys can both just have it out. And Vincent, like the little bitch that he is, would not fucking talk to you.
Like, no, I'll talk about Chris Hansen, but I'm not going to talk about anything else.
But he was talking so much shit about you before. I'm like,
that's when I told Vince I was going to be in New York and I would just come talk with him in person. He's like, if I see you, I'm gonna shoot you.
What?
That's what he said.
Yeah. That's why Elmo first showed up, Steve, because I did a song called "Come Heavy." Because he said he's like, I'm gonna come heavy. Yeah, and that was like my first thing that really popped off. So fuck you, Steve, and fuck Canada.
Thank you.
I'm with you there.
Fuck your bag of milk. Fuck your loonies.
I hate Canada.
Actually, to be fair, Steve is an honorary American. He's already sworn that Canada is a terrible place. Is like one of the worst places on earth.
Why is that? Why is that, Steve?
Because Steve lives there.
Steve's terrible.
I can't be as mean as I want to be and shit, you know?
No. If he was over here, Steve would be 10 times worse, which should scare everybody. So when A says Wes pays me to be here.
That is true. Winnie is here to be my backup and support.
Well, how much are you paying Winnie? Like, how much love do you have to pay to Winnie?
Love? Oh no, I don't pay in love. I pay in dollars.
Oh my gosh!
He's got to be.
You better not
court case.
You better not give Steve any ideas. I refuse to pay that man a single freaking schmeckle.
You can't use American money in Canada anyway. True.
Okay, all right. So this Muse person, right?
Yeah.
They've made several allegations against you. They tried taking you to court, I believe, more than once. The first time, I believe that case got dismissed because they just
didn't show up.
Yeah, she didn't just
twice, right? She didn't show up twice.
Well, no, the first so court case one, because it gets a little confusing because there were multiple dates for each. But court case one, the first court date, she showed up and she wasn't prepared, and she was just kind of rambling and shit, and said that she didn't have time to get ready. So the judge gave her a 1 week extension, and then on that next court case, she just didn't show up, and she was busy putting up TikToks about people of color and all that other good stuff, paying attention to people of color and being against police brutality. She's a strong supporter in Black Lives Matter.
Okay, so
that's ironic then, because then she made those accusations against you.
Exactly. I mean, so a week before the George Floyd killing, I'm in Chehalis, Washington, getting almost arrested for false human trafficking. A place that's 88% white, and I've got all these cops around me, and they're there for what they think is a felony crime. She doesn't care anything about fucking Black Lives Matter. It's just
no. Wes. Let's be fair. She did wear a T-shirt that said Black Lives Matter.
That's true. And if you wear a T-shirt or put the hashtag on that's gonna undo any harm you do.
Exactly. I mean, come on, dude. Like she's done quite a bit when she put that T-shirt on.
She did spread some awareness.
So what was her claims to human trafficking though?
Oh man.
Does she even know what that means? Like,
well, so that's the thing. So I actually ordered court transcripts for all the cases because the story changed each time. Even by the time we first went to court, the human trafficking was dropped. But what she was saying is that I had her in my home and wouldn't let her leave without me, which I was able. I mean, I had text messages where she would leave in the state. The state was paying for a cab to take her to and from therapy twice a week. You know, she would leave in Ubers to go out with her friends in the area. She would walk her dog, but she tried to make it sound like she was kept under lock and key. And you know, there were other claims. There were other claims like that I brought her out here to work for some sex website, and then I kicked her out because she wouldn't be sexual with me. So, and that was the first. That was
and then like a roommate as well, right? So there wasn't any sexual.
No, there was nothing happened. Like no, well, if that would have happened, she would have tried to have me arrested for sexual assault. I mean,
but I believe you did institute some very sexy house rules about how she needed to clean up.
Like, hey, if your dog pisses on my floor, clean it up. Stop eating all the fucking food. You know, clean up your area. Oh, and she got real mad because I told her that the housekeeper would be starting up again. And here's an exclusive for you guys. I actually found 7 hours of phone calls between her and myself from before she moved out here, which completely refute anything about being forced. I'm pretty sure in there it also talks about her saying she had sepsis and needed to get out here ASAP. So that'll all be coming soon.
Okay, so she's psychotic. Okay,
yeah, for sure.
All right, and you know, I saw the house rule fucking shit going on.
So were those rules instituted like after she had already been there?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Well, I mean, like the rule of cleaning up your dog shit is like that's something you institute to a roommate when they won't pick up the shit from their fucking dog. As someone who's had roommates before, let me tell you, they get really pissed when I didn't pick up the shit from my dog.
Yeah, see, and it wasn't like, hey, pick up after your dog outside, because the yard guy does that. But like, hey, if your dog pisses on the floor, how about you clean that up?
Yeah, so that wasn't like a preemptive, like
I would never think I'd tell
okay. Here's the important thing I think that we need to establish, right? How did this girl, right? I get she's an adult and everything. I say girl because she behaves like a fucking psychotic child. Yeah, women, fine. But how did she get to living with you, right? Like, how did that start?
So, and that's what these calls will also cover is because of Vince, right? I was told to reach out to Muse because Muse was another victim of Vince. So I got onto Twitter on New Year's Eve because Vince was doxing me on Twitter. I didn't have a Twitter. So I only joined Twitter so I can be like, oh, this is why Vince is doxing me. This is the video that we dropped today, and this is why he's so mad. Like, this guy's a fraud. And then people were like, hey, you need to contact Muse because she was also a victim of Vince. And on that deity stream where Vince is, going off and he's just talking all kinds of shit, Muse actually showed up there because she had a claim, some bullshit claim against RSN about him victimizing her. And Vince had tried to look into it, and they couldn't do anything with it. Whatever charges that she had tried to file had already been dropped long ago. So, and then he was like kind of talking shit about her during that stream, telling them to block her if she was going to cause trouble. So I contacted her, and she just had like this really sad story about abuse and all these medical ailments, and she needed to get back to the Pacific Northwest because that was where her insurance was, and she thought she had sepsis. So at first it was helping her get back to the Pacific Northwest. I've never had anyone stay in my house. Like I'm not that person. I mean, if I go to where my family lives, I stay in a hotel. I'm just not that guy who's like trying to have people in my house.
So I was gonna ask too, like how, because I thought she was working for you, right?
No.
Okay, so you weren't like working on a project together or anything.
No. That's what she tried to say, that we were working on some porn site. The site that she's talking about is a dormant site from 2018, but she tried to throw that out there because she knew she didn't have a human trafficking case. So she was trying to say, well, he was bringing me out to work and then was not going to let me leave, which would, like, say I owned a massage parlor and I'm bringing women in from another country, and then I take their passport and they need to work for me for 2 years. They can't ever leave. And once they've been there 2 years, I'm going to give them their passport and let them go. That's trafficking. So she was trying to build whatever case she could, but no, she was never going to work for me. I mean, I've worked in the industry since 2001. If I would need someone to work with me on a website, I know people. I'm not flying some girl who's supposedly on fucking death's door from Georgia to come work from me. It doesn't even make sense.
I thought maybe she was doing like social media or maybe
no,
like
she
something
can't
to do with the
anything.
channel or some shit. Maybe editing. I have no idea.
No,
none of that.
No, none of that. I never would have flown someone out here for that. Like that's ridiculous. No, it was all about she needed to get to the Pacific Northwest for her insurance, and I have all that in text. And so at first she was supposed to come out in it was like March or April. Is when we were initially talking, and which would have been about 4 months after her and I first started talking. And she started trying to. And I interviewed the roommate she was living with. Then they were having issues, just like anyone else who's lived with her. They were having issues after 2 months of living together. Things weren't going well, so she wanted to get out of there. She wanted to get out of Georgia, so she started trying to put the pressure on me by telling me that RSN had people coming after her. She was like, someone just jiggled the door handle. So RSN, who's wherever.
RSN is over there jiggling the door handle.
Oh, no, it wasn't him. He sent his minions.
God, dude, this is fucking wild.
Trisha's over there jiggling door handles.
And I'm guessing whoever it was, they were all dressed as ninjas, all under the cover at night.
Oh, God damn.
There was stealth involved. There were smoke bombs. And they got to the door. They jiggled it. Now, they got to the door and jiggled it, but they realized it wasn't unlocked, and they dipped. And they were like...
shit, this got too real, man. I might actually get into this.
I didn't anticipate a door lock, and then they turned around and left to fight for RSN another day. And so I have all this via text. I didn't believe this. I didn't believe that. Like that sounded to me like I've met panicky people before. It sounded like maybe the wind jostled the door, so I didn't buy that shit. But the next day is when I think I have sepsis. Like sepsis could be deadly. And so that's when I said, so you need to get back here sooner than later. And she said, yes, all on text. I have all this shit via text. So it proves that. And that was what moved the date up. And she claimed she had money, that she made money. She made good money. She had this Etsy store. She made money doing her cam shit. Like she had the money to pay rent. She had the money to get her own place. So I was going to help her find like a room to rent or a studio apartment or something in the area. But because of her moving the date up, because she was pushing the urgency, there was no time to do that. So that's how she ended up at my house. And even then, it was supposed to be like 2 or 3 months is what we had agreed on.
Yeah, like just to kind of let her get on her feet kind of thing.
Yeah, and then... Exactly. And once she was here, it was so I didn't have house. I never had anyone live in my house. So I don't have house rules, because if I stay at someone's house, you don't need to tell me if my dog pisses on the floor to clean it up, or not to eat all the fucking food when you're supposedly on 24-hour feeds. That's another one. I just clicked on one random place in one of the calls, and she's like, well, I'd love to get some pizza. And then, I mean, how? The state is providing you boxes of this feeding tube shit. You have this thing in your stomach. You're not supposed to be eating pizza and tacos and chicken fries and everything else. So yeah, that's how she got out here. She was here 4 days before I created,
you thought maybe there should be some rules.
Well, yeah, because it was the first day that she was here that I noticed shit was really off, because we went to the dog park, and anyone that came up to her needed to hear that she had a feeding tube.
So
you know what I mean?
So yeah. the tube thing, that's just on her all the time?
Well, yeah, because it's installed, if for lack of a better word, in her stomach, like a surgically placed feeding tube. Okay. And so it would only be worn if she was either going to get on a live stream or if we were going out in public. But other than that, it's chicken fries and pizza and whatever else. But if someone was going to see it, then it was going to be on. The bag was going to be on. She was going to talk about her feed. So we're at the dog park. A dog runs up to her and she goes, "I think your dog likes my feeding tube." And
that's weird. Yeah,
10 more feet. A dog runs up to her and she goes,
I have to say, because it seems like you were trying to be a nice guy, right, and help this person out, because you had a mutual villain in Nicotra. But
so that was it initially. But no, we did start talking, and things did progress a little bit. So there was talk. Honestly, there was talk of a relationship early on. But once she got here, that never materialized, because she was not the person that was presented while talking beforehand.
It's like you got catfish, but emotionally.
No, I mean, I guess you could say that. You know, like, I mean, I guess I don't really consider it that because it wasn't some crushing thing for me. It was like a musical, you know, like this isn't going anywhere. I didn't really care. I wanted her out of my house though when she was inviting people over without asking me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think that's fair. Like, I wouldn't want strangers in my house. Yeah. I mean, she's technically a stranger.
Well, I mean, and it'd be if you're like, hey, my buddy's local. Is it cool if they come over? That's different. That's asking. But it was I got a message saying, hey, my friend's coming over.
Yeah, no, you know, it's not uncommon when you're staying with somebody, right? For them to say, like, especially if it's going to be like a long-term thing, for them to say, hey, let's establish some ground rules for living here. The fact that this psycho bitch fucking turned that around into he basically made me into like a sex slave, and these were sexy rules about how I'd clean up my dog's shit. Like I'm sitting there going, like, what did he say? You had to wear a fucking thong when you did it?
No,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Right. I don't get how that makes any sense, right?
Well, none of it, and that's why I said I got the court transcripts, because in the second court case, she had changed the story to and then that first court case, she said that she didn't call the natural trafficking hotline for herself. She called them because she was concerned for my son, because
okay. So she called
Well, no, I mean, she didn't. I mean, it was really clear why she called the national trafficking hotline, because I have those text messages.
No, I'm not saying she did that because she actually thought it. What I'm saying is the whole human trafficking thing was about your son.
That's what she said in that. And she's like,
dude, that bitch is psychotic.
Well, because she knew. I mean, so she committed perjury all throughout the filing. I mean, she said things that I had proof that did not happen, but she said she called them because I yell at my son, and I said I wished I would have beat him more when he was a kid because he's a bad kid. Which, I mean, so saying that I should have beat my kid more in her mind would be child abuse. I mean, I don't even understand that. The conversation never happened. But that's what she was trying to claim there. And so when she didn't show up, that case was thrown out with prejudice, meaning none of it could be brought up again.
So she was trying to use you saying that you didn't beat your kid enough as a way to prove child abuse.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess because it's the thought that counts, but I never said it anyway.
Yeah, you never said it, but like even then, it's like I didn't beat my kid, so like I don't know, man. It's just
no, I know. It's like a thought crime. So that's what she was saying. Like just the thought of, man, I wish I would have beat my kid more. And she's like, wow, I should call the trafficking hotline.
Okay. So that's where that entire thing comes.
That's where that came. Well, that's what she claimed.
I so earlier when you were talking like the Black Lives Matter stuff, then she fucking wears this shirt and fucking puts in her profiles and all that crap, right? And to be fair, right? Like one of the big points about Black Lives Matter is that the cops, they overcharge black men, that they're very abusive, that I've heard them argue, like calling the police on a black guy. It's tantamount to putting them in a life or death situation, right? I've literally heard that argument from these people.
Yeah.
Right. So for her to fucking, proudly call herself a member of that movement, right? And then at the same time, basically fucking say that you're fucking a human trafficker and you abuse your kid and all this shit and like call a fucking cop. That's insane.
No, it is.
I mean, look, man, my wife's black and everything, she tells me the situation, like how she feels about the cops and everything. I understand it. I get it. Right. But like for me, right, to listen to all of that, right, and then just to fuck with her, right, because let's say like it goes sour between us, right, it never will. I love my fucking wife, I really do. It's great being a newlywed. I gotta so I can keep talking about it. I know you don't understand. It's so awesome, right? And then when she like busts in the door and she fucking starts bitching me out on the stream, I still think it's fucking hilarious, and we laugh about it later. I showed her the that little stream clip that you put up, Steve. Like she fucking was just dying. Yeah, she was fucking dying. I was like, okay, I'm way off topic. But like, imagine, right? but imagine for you to like say you believe in all that stuff, and then turn around and fucking basically like falsely accuse a black dude, right? Well, like, yeah. I mean, that's to me is just like, it's almost like she was kind of. for my opinion, a conspiracy theory. It's almost like she was hoping that the fucking cops would rough you up, or
Well, I mean, she definitely sat there wanting to watch them arrest me in that parking lot, because she would have recorded that and that would have been her content for the next year, how she escaped this trafficker. Because when you make yourself a victim constantly throughout your life, you're looking for opportunities to be a victim, and that's what she does. Looks for opportunity to be a victim. So that case was dropped, and I don't know, man, I kind of got tired of, I think I made that Repsion video maybe right after that, kind of feeling good, I can move on to other shit and start just doing other things with my channel. And I don't know, I just kind of got tired of it, because I don't deal with drama. I don't have drama in my life. I have a really good life. I'm really fortunate with, work, everything. I'm just a really fortunate person. So I don't have drama in my life outside of fucking YouTube. So I stopped. I was done. And I'd get 30 people messaging me a week asking when's the next Muse video coming out. And in my mind, I'm like, what more do I need to tell you about Muse? Like, what more do you need to know about this person that's not already there? You stay away from her. She's fucking dangerous, and I had some interviews with her other roommates that had lived with her before, and the ex that she was with for 2 years. Crazy interviews. But I just didn't feel like continuing. Why put myself in this drama situation if I don't have to? What I wanted to do, which was make people aware about this predator, like that had been done. I'd done Chris Hansen's show for the first time with that, and the videos were getting views. People knew who she was, and that's all I cared about.
Now, I do, because Danny O's actually said, which case was lost, and that is important, right? Because there was a there was a case. I'm not entirely sure what the basis of it was, but to my understanding, she was trying to get a restraining order against you, and I believe she used some of the things you had said about her online to get that restraining order. Can you?
No.
What is the context behind this?
Yeah, I was getting to that. So
okay.
So that was the first case, right? So I didn't, and then that was it. What ended up happening was I found out that she was in school, living on campus, and as a father of a teenager, that shit scared me, because my kid will be in college soon, and I've seen how she treats people when they don't want to be around her, when she feels slighted. I had talked to 9 people who had lived with her either prior to or after she lived here, and they all had a similar story of getting fucked over, getting lied to, being stolen from. And where does my personal responsibility lie for that? If I know that this, if I knew someone was going around raping women, and then this guy is teaching at an all-girls Catholic school, I feel like it would be my responsibility to say something, right? Because if you don't, and then something happens, maybe you could have prevented that. And my concern was there was going to be some guy or girl that she is hanging out with who then doesn't want to be around her anymore, and she's going to claim sexual assault, or she's going to claim something else. So I was talking to the police officer who was in charge of the extortion case when she tried telling me she told me if I didn't give her $500, she was going to take me to court. And she did. She said, if you don't give me $500, if you give me the money, I'll walk away. If not, I will find a way to take you to court. So I'll make up some shit. That's what she wrote. I will find a way to take you to court. And she started bringing up domestic violence because of my videos. So that's what it was. So my videos were her reason for the domestic violence the first time. She claimed the videos were bringing a hate mob, and that's domestic violence. So the second time, so I contacted the school. I didn't post anything on Twitter. I didn't, make a video about it, but I contacted the school and just kind of gave them the story. And I gave them the link to the Chris Hansen video to legitimize it and said, look, you've got this person living on your campus, claiming to have all these ailments. Are you sure that they have all those? Because from what I was told, this was like a scholarship thing for battered women, which at the time she'd had a temporary order of protection against because she had just filed this bullshit court case the first time. So if she was using that to, look, I'm a victim. I need to be here. Please let me in for free because I'm a victim. Then that was an issue. But it was just a thing of letting them know so that if any accusation was made against someone, maybe they would look into it, because I don't want to see someone else's life get ruined because she's just making up shit about someone, and she doesn't care. She was happy what she had done to Brittany Simon. She was happy for getting the restraining order against her ex, and said she just wants to ruin people. You're gonna fuck with her, she'll fuck with you. And so I contacted the school, and that was it. I sent one email, and that was it. Didn't follow up, didn't do anything else. And so they immediately, I guess, went to her and told her and showed her.
Yeah, that seems like they probably shouldn't have done that. Also, so the people you talked to who lived with her after, these weren't like people on the in the dorm or in the campus of the,
No. I haven't spoken with any, like, it was the person she lived with right after leaving my house, which is kind of a funny story because when she left here for that surgery, she left stuff here like she was coming back. She was supposed to be gone for the weekend, but she had already made plans with this guy to go directly from the hospital to his house.
So she just left a bunch of stuff.
Left all her shit and expected me to bring it to her. So like that was the plan from the beginning. She wasn't coming back, and I was going to ferry her shit out to her, and she was going to have me arrested because that was when I went to take her stuff. I drive 100 fucking miles to take her stuff, and she's there with the police.
Bring me my stuff, and I'll have you arrested.
Bring me my shit. And she wanted it specifically in trash bags because that would have looked bad, if I had all her shit in trash bags, so she could take pictures of it and put it on Twitter. I'm a victim. All my stuff's in trash bags.
Well, she literally told you to put her things into trash bags.
It's in the text. She's like, and I'm completely fine if you just put it all in trash bags. That's totally cool. Don't forget the Cash App. Don't forget
that's amazing.
Shit. So what she was trying to do was basically set you up as being a piece of shit, right? Just I'm saying what she did. I'm not saying you are, right? She was trying to set you up as being this piece of shit abuser. You either A, were sexually abusing her, or B, were just using her, emotionally manipulating her, whatever she could say, right? Whatever people would believe.
She never claimed sexual abuse. She just said because
I mean, like emotionally manipulating her for sex, right? Like saying like you can live with me, but you basically have to be like my fucking what do you call them, concubine?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, yeah, but I guess now she never got to explain that. So I don't know if she was going to say it was something that we had arranged beforehand, or if it was like demand I started making once she got here. She never got to say that. But what she did say in text messages to the person who she had lived with before me, because she was complaining about me while here, was that I wouldn't even go near her, and I had been ghosting her since she got here and didn't want anything to do with her. And those are her words to someone else. But then, once she leaves my home, then the story completely changed, and she was trafficked. And so the first court case, that shit's got thrown out. None of that stuff can get brought up, which actually ended up fucking me over because after I contacted the school, she ended up finding some fucking lawyer, this Black-owned, Black Lives Matter, Reparations Now law firm that it looks like an SNL sketch. If you look at their website, it's got like these black people. It looks hilarious. But
is it okay if we show that or
no? I won't.
Okay.
No, I mean because they represent.
I was a little bit concerned. I was thinking that immediately. I was like, oh, hold on.
No, I'm showing that picture because it shit looks like a Soul Glow commercial. But they represented her pro bono, or whatever, maybe not pro bono since they wanted me to pay legal bills, but they represented her and were going to bring me to court saying that I had committed domestic violence by contacting the school.
It amazes me how all the Black Lives Matter people are setting up the black dude and taking
right. I mean, this little white girl, fucking lying ass. There's a history. All they had to do was look at that first court case and go, "Oh, you're a fucking liar," because the story had completely changed this time. And what she was saying now was that she was my paid sexual partner.
Yeah.
So I flew her out from Georgia. Because I'm this lonely guy, so I flew this girl with 13 fucking ailments and feeding tube and everything, all the way across the country to be my live-in prostitute. If I want to live in prostitute, I'm pretty sure I can just go anywhere in Oregon and find one, or anywhere up in the Seattle area, and they're just walking around. I don't need to fly one from Georgia that's on death's door, who weighs 82 pounds and is 5'7". That's not my style.
That's not my style.
But I mean, but how does the court not look at the claims made in the first case and then compare them to the claims made here and go, why doesn't any of this match up? The story had changed as to why the human trafficking hotline was called. The story had completely changed. Everything had changed. And my lawyer and I were very well prepared. There wasn't a whole lot to prove. She was saying, a lot of what she was saying is, oh, someone is pretending to be me on Twitter and was sharing my nudes. And she's claiming that's me, but couldn't provide any, there wasn't any screenshots of any of that ever happening. But even if there was, why would she think that was me? Because for the rest of her life, whenever something goes wrong, she'll be like, oh, it was Wes. It was my abuser. My abuser did that, because that's what she's calling me now. You know, let alone the fact that this bitch tried to put me in jail for asking her to leave my house, for being a horrible person. But I'm her abuser because I exposed her for what she is. So the judge didn't care what we had to say. The judge decided that because I sent that email that I was in the wrong, that was domestic violence. And she got a 2-year restraining order against me.
And they granted it.
They granted it. Now, it doesn't matter. I live 150 miles from her. That's assuming she's, hasn't moved across the country to live rent-free off of someone else. But I don't live anywhere near her, and I don't have any interest in being anywhere around her. What she thought it would do would be stop me from making content. But all it did was make me start making content again. And I got it back on Chris Hansen. There are some there are larger platforms, much larger outside of YouTube, who are in discussions with me about this story. Because this isn't a normal story. This is someone who has collected money on the grounds that they have all these ailments and have never proven it. And as soon as I brought that up on a live stream, the GoFundMes came down, because theft by deception is a real thing. And if you're collecting money saying you have cancer, or you have a blood disease, or you have EDS and you have this, and you don't have those things, that's a felony. You go to jail.
So it sounds like what she does have, what do you call that thing? Munchausen syndrome or something? I might be saying that wrong.
Yeah, I mean that, and I'm not someone who can diagnose that, but that was my initial feelings when we were at that dog park, and when everyone needed to know and everyone needed to see the feeding tube. I was like, holy shit, this girl has Munchausen's.
Yeah, she needs everybody to feel sympathy for her for all these diseases that she doesn't have. And GoFundMe does not allow you to scam people. So if you even make the accusation, right, and a bunch of people make the accusation that you are lying about something in order to collect money on GoFundMe shut it down. Now, if you have a GoFundMe that just says, I need money, give me money, right? Yeah. GoFundMe ain't can do shit. But if you make a thing that says, I have cancer, and it happens all the time. I eat through a feeding tube and I need money for my medical expenses. 100%. I mean, one thing I will say though, and look, because I'm still hung up on the Black Lives Matter stuff, right? With this bitch, I'm still hung up on it. I mean, why don't? Maybe I'm taking it too far, right? But why don't you brand this entire thing as the story of a privileged fucking white girl who gets to fucking make several baseless accusations against you, right? And the fucking people just eat it up, right? That's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous to me. I'm looking at that what the fuck?
The pool of people who believe her bullshit is getting smaller by the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't open my Twitter without 2 or 3 people, and this isn't a joke, who are sending me tweets that she's sending or Instagram posting that she's sending. I don't do anything with them. I've seen her say, "Oh, I'm stalking her Twitter. I'm stalking." I don't care. I really don't. I feel like the job has been done, and even getting this restraining order did not do what she hoped it would. If anything, it's just strengthened my resolve, because you can't take half measures. This person is a predator, and until that's clear, getting this bullshit restraining order, getting some judge who just feels like, oh, this mean man did what? If that judge's son was in the same position that I was in, I'm positive her position would be completely different.
Well, I mean, look, my belief in judges has really dramatically just dropped down. There was a situation with the Sophie. I don't know if you were familiar with that. We talked about it a little bit on this channel. that there was this girl, right? The viral video of her screaming, refusing to go with her mom in a joint custody situation, saying that she was being abused by someone. The judge is like desperately trying to silence the dad from talking about it, from sharing these videos with anybody. Long story short, she gives the girl right back to the mom, and the mom takes this girl to a fucking hotel room where she's got 4 dudes in there. It turns out the kids test positive for fucking cocaine, and then the judge basically just recuses herself and flees the fucking state. I'm sitting there going like, my belief in judges is like really dramatically dropped down because a lot of them seem to just play fucking politics with shit, right? It's like they get lazy, they don't care, right? They're just like, what looks to be the right thing. Okay, yeah, that's what it is, right? So if you have this like poor little fucking white girl with all these diseases and you have the mean black dude, right? They sit there and they go like, fucking just throw you under the bus.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. He did what? He contacted the school to let him know that you're a dangerous person. If the sexes would have been reversed, this never would have happened.
Yeah, no.
If she would have been calling the school to tell them he beats me and he's mean to me and he'll pretend and they would have taken her information down and they would have held on to it. But this guy who has all this evidence, I mean, all of it's there, and all the judge would have had to do is just open up the last court case and look at the evidence that she provided, and see how the stories didn't match up. None of it matched up, and the shit would have got thrown out. But again, that's why I ordered court transcripts, because not only do I have them, it's going to be and it's all about politics. For re-election, but those are going to be reenacted on my channel so that people can hear every time the story changes. Every time it's her crying bullshit. Oh, Your Honor, I can't. I'm too traumatized to talk. And traumatized from what? You created all of it on your own.
I mean, look, that's the thing, right? To me, I want to see it, right? I definitely want to see it on your channel. I think everybody who's tuned in does want to see it. And guys, if you're not already, Wes Moast's channel is linked into the description of this stream. Make sure you click on it, check it out, because I'm sure they want to be up to date on. They want to know stuff like it's fucked up. It sounds gross. It sounds disgusting. The fact that this girl is able to just fucking manipulate people like that. But
you can find out who Debs OG is.
Oh, Debs
is a cool cat.
Debs OG is my girl. She's going to be in the next. Like 2 of my 3 next videos I'm doing with Debs OG.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Steve, hold on. Wes is amazing when it comes to production value on his videos. Okay? $30 editing software.
Yeah.
Right?
Steve doesn't like it, but yeah.
I know. He's such a fucking hater.
Yeah, Steve said he would do it differently.
Yeah, he
did.
Just
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just do it a little bit differently.
He would really put Debs at the forefront of everything, and draw back a couple of the filters that you got going on.
I get that, and just more Debs. I got you, Steve. I'll be happy with the next one.
Less more weed.
The crazy thing about all this, right? So I dealt with the Vince situation. I dealt with the Muse situation, but there was something else that had been going on the whole time that I never even talked about, because in the grand scheme of things, it was minor. And it was this girl who I had, it's not even worth it to challenge the restraining order, because it doesn't make a difference to me. Like, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's shitty. I mean, it is shitty that I had to pay for a lawyer. I had to go back to court and everything, but her winning opens up the conversation about how fucked up sentencing is, and the difference between if a female is alleging that they are a victim of something versus a male who, I don't know if you follow this situation going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard at all.
Yeah, of course. I think that's a perfect example. This woman has, like, on the record stated, nobody will ever believe Johnny Depp when he accuses me of abusing him.
Yeah.
She chops off the dude's finger, right? Burns a cigarette on his face. And the judge in the case sits there and goes, well, given the state that he was in, he could have burned himself with a cigarette. We don't know this. He could have burned himself. Now, yes, and I find it very troubling that that there was no medical record of this burn on his face. Now, they did note it, and obviously they may have been more concerned with his finger being chopped off. But I find that there is no evidence that she put a cigarette on his face. I'm like,
no, it's insane.
Like the mental fucking gymnastics you just pulled there is insane.
Yeah, that's right? A good lawyer right there.
I mean, that was the judge. That was the fucking judge.
Well, that's what happened in my court case too, because her lawyer was fucking awful, and that'll be clear in the transcripts. But the judge basically put the case together for them because they never their accusation had nothing to do. It wasn't about the school. It was about the videos, and it was about the people, the hate mob. None of it me, but people who were, that she said were messaging her on Twitter and telling her to fuck off. But like, yeah, fuck off. You're a piece of shit. People are going to tell you that you're a piece of shit if you're a piece of shit. That has nothing to do with me.
I mean, look, I get the scenario where you want to say, like, when you're in a legal case, right, keep it off social media because of stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm sitting there going, like, she's out there saying all this shit about you, right? She, I mean, look, I say turnabout's fair fucking play when you bait someone like she baited you into showing up with her stuff, telling you to put into a fucking trash bag, and then having the cops there waiting for you.
Well, yeah, I'd put her stuff in. So I had already known at that point, like, what kind of person she was and how she's constantly playing a victim. And so I put her stuff in suitcases because I wasn't going to let her put trash bags on Twitter and be like, finally got my stuff. And she'd already been telling people that she had escaped a sex trafficker. So they were waiting, to hear an update about what happened to her trafficker. And then when she goes home and like, oh, they fucking let him go, so that she can, again, pretend that she's a victim and, the law is letting her down. So, yeah. So anyway, that restraining order, I could give a fuck about. But while all that was going on, when Muse was at my house for 2 weeks, this girl who I had dated in October of last year, and I stopped seeing her in November because she smoked meth.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, right. Like didn't show up.
Once though, just once, or like this is thing?
It was like this, Steve. I do this big Halloween thing. I take 2 days off work to put the house together for Halloween, and people coming from other neighborhoods. Like, it's a big deal. And so I was doing this, and she was going to come by and help, and she didn't show up. And she messaged me, and she's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry I couldn't make it. I was with my roommate, and I got forced to do meth."
Got forced to do that?
I was forced to do meth.
Press X to fucking doubt on that. What do you mean forced to do meth?
And the story
we're both very confused by that one.
Yo, you're confused. I've been in a lot of places and situations, but never one where I was forced to do meth. And the story was like, oh, we went to Oregon, and we ended up going to this place where they let you go in and do drugs. Which I'd never heard of some shit like this, probably because I'm not trash. So, and I have a house, so I don't need to know places where I can go to do drugs.
I think that's called a crack house. I think.
I was about to say, there's a name for that. There's a name for that.
No, it's even better because she said it was his business. There are these businesses that you go to, and they like
that's a drug dealer.
They lock you in, and you can like exchange needles and all that shit. And then you could do drugs, and I'm going, and she's just
it's literally just a drug dealer's house.
Well, yeah, it was a business. And then at the end,
it's a fucking like, crack den. What the fuck?
At the end, she goes, "I don't want you to think badly of my roommate because it was top shelf meth."
Sorry.
And I'm like, oh, well, at least it wasn't junk. I mean, all you had to say was top shelf. Was it like Heisenberg shit? It was blue.
Do you think if this is her roommate, does she live in the crack den, or he has crack den and an apartment?
She lived 5 miles from me. It was their apartment was not a crack den, so I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But like, I'm out, right? Like,
good man.
Too many questions. Like,
I'm out. And so I made content with this girl. My very first channel, I got sued for before the channel even launched back in 2018. And that's where I met her. I'd hired her to work with me on this YouTube channel where I was catching married men trying to pick up prostitutes in the park. And then I'd walk up to them with the camera. I had their whole chat log. It was like To Catch a Predator mixed with any of pop-up video, because I would like pop up shit on the screen from the chat log. And she was my decoy. And so the guy would come up to her at the park and they would sit down and start talking. And then I'd walk up with this camera and I would make them sing songs and play. The whole point was to see what would a person do to get out of being exposed as a cheater. And so it was only married men, like exclusively married men. And they all wanted to have unprotected sex with this prostitute. And so, that was where I met her. And so we did like 6 episodes of this show. The day it was before it was supposed to launch, I get a knock at the door. I have a fucking lawsuit. So my very first channel, before I could put any content on YouTube, I $10,000 in legal fees. So that was 2018, right?
You know, hey, but Wes, you know, I gotta say, you're pretty lucky. I remember there was this there's this video, right? I can't remember where I saw it, but it was these 2 guys. And they were trying to basically like bust people for sleeping with prostitutes, right? So they would jump out, right? And they had this like girl who was totally in on it, right? And they would just jump out and like surprise people, right? Fuck with them. But like this dude shows up, immediately goes inside the room and just starts trying to kill the girl, right? Psychopath.
That sounds like some luxury pranks bullshit that wasn't real. But no, we were meeting in public locations, so. Yeah, the meeting location would always be the Starbucks, right? And then right when the guy got to Starbucks, they would get a message. Oh man, I think I just saw my neighbor. Are you setting me up? I don't even know if I want to be here. And the guy would beg because they would always be driving in rush hour traffic for like 2 hours to get here. I would set everything up so fucked up, and I'd say, all right, well, I'm at the park across the street. Meet me there. I wanted it to be in public. So it was at this bench right next to the park, and I would make these dudes, like one of the dude had to sing a Journey song. We would sit down and have a full conversation, and it was all, they were just being trolled. It was fucking hilarious, but I could never do anything with it because of the lawsuit. So I didn't see her for another year, and we ended up getting in contact again. And at that time, I was no longer married, and she was no longer engaged. So we ended up going out, and crazy. I'm actually making a video about it because it's the craziest shit that's happened to me in a real long time. But we hung out for a few weeks. The meth thing happened. I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. But she still wanted to make content because I had another channel idea, and we were gonna do some content, but she couldn't get past the this relationship that she thought we were gonna be in. And she started getting really obsessive. And so I stopped talking to her, and she sent me hundreds of emails and messages, and they were just long and rambling. And she would say, like, a relationship is for better or worse till death do us part. You're not giving me a chance. And it just went on and on and on. And when the police were at my house about the Vince situation, it was like, oh, hey, while you're here, I got this girl who's stalking me, won't leave me alone. And he told me to send her an email saying, hey, if you contact me again, I'm going to go to the police. And he said, that's all you need to do. And then if she contacts you again, give us a call. We'll call her up and scare her, like just put a little fear into her, and that'll be it. And so right after 2 weeks later, she starts messing me up again. And it would always start like in the middle of the night, and I'd wake up and have 50, 60 texts and, 13 emails. And these are long, like novel poems. And she would show up at my house. She showed up at my house because she had left a bike in my garage, and she took the bike and threw it overhead into my neighbor's yard and left.
Now, Wes, do you think if you did this to her that you would be able to get away with all this? You look very angelic, by the way.
I like your question because that's exactly where I'm going with this. So, so I sent her this email, right? I told her not to fucking contact me again, and the fucking very next day, she's contacting me more, and I told her, and I was like, yo, I told you yesterday. Stop fucking contacting me. This is the last warning. And she's like, all right, suck a bag of fuck. And she leaves. And she actually said, suck a bag of fuck.
Suck a bag of fuck. I believe it. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Were you impressed when she threw the bike overhead over a fence?
I mean, it was a light. No, not over the fence. So no, because so what she did, I mean,
it is a women aura.
She took her bike.
It is a women.
God damn. Both of you gonna get us in trouble again. Stop.
I go upstairs and I see her walking out of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what the fuck? And my neighbor shows me the camera, the video of her throwing this bike into her yard and leaving.
Okay.
Fucking flipped. And then she keeps fucking messaging me, or trying to give me this book of poetry I don't want your poetry book. I don't want your shitty poetry. You keep that for you. And so I didn't hear from her, and I thought maybe she got.
I think I know I think I know why she's so pissed with you. But how dare you turn down the poetry?
Book of poetry. Did you even read a single one of them?
Yeah, actually,
you probably worked really hard on it.
If you go to
never saw you riding that bike.
I put some of her messages on Twitter, just within the last few days. If you guys want to pull those up, because they're fucking hilarious. But she went away for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, she started messaging me like we were having a conversation. She was talking about how she just moved, and this guy was helping her, and her new roommate was unhappy. Like, just a bunch of shit I didn't care anything about. And so I finally called the police. I was like, hey, I told the girl to leave me alone. She won't leave me alone. He's like, all right, send me the text messages. So I started sending them to him. And he's like, hey, are you home? I said, yeah. He goes, all right, I'm coming by. And I don't want police at my house. My house reeks of weed. I mean, it's legal here. And,
but you're in the right crowd right now. Don't worry about it.
And
you home right now, Wes? I'm coming over. I'm just the cops. Was he texting you saying this?
I got Chick-fil-A. No, he was. He texted. He's like, all right, I'm gonna come over. And I was like, no, you don't need to come over. Call her up. What do you need to come over here for? And he comes to my house, and I open the door, and he's like, all right, so what do you want me to do? And I'm thinking this dude's getting an attitude with me, like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? Like, I want you to fucking call her like you said he would. He goes, no, here's the thing. That's not going to work. What do you mean? He goes, because she's not going to stop. She has priors. 7 months earlier, this girl was arrested for harassing her ex-boyfriend and then he had a restraining order against her. She violated the shit a week later and then was resisting arrest.
Wow.
And then prior to that, she had another charge in California for harassing an ex-roommate. So he's like, you calling her isn't going to do shit. We need to go get her. I'm like, all right, well, you need to do. I never thought that, this girl emailing me and shit was going to turn to her going to jail, but she was arrested and taken to jail. So she's there, I guess, like overnight or whatever. She gets a court date, but with COVID and everything, everything was delayed because of everything going on out here. And she actually didn't end up going to court until maybe a month ago, and they dropped everything. They said it was a unlawful arrest. But here's the fucked up part. So while she had this restraining order against her, so Muse is at my house when she gets arrested. Muse is upset because I'm busy talking to the police officer and can't talk to her about her traumatic online experience at the moment. So she's mad. And Muse leaves.
Which I'm sure was just so much more important than
than whatever I'm dealing with. Like she Arson was being mean to her, or Dee called her an asshole or something. So I needed to stop everything and deal with that. So after I made my first Muse video where I'm talking about this girl accusing me of trafficking and how I could have been any number of horrible things could have happened, who even Vince contacted me to say, I just watched your video, man. That's really fucked up. Even Vince was like, I got limits, and that bitch wouldn't put past him. Like Vince. This is like when, when some shit happens and Iran hits us up like, hey, America, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hit that. That's what that shit was. That was Vince contacting me to tell me that he felt really bad about Muse calling me. He's like, you ain't no fucking predator. You're definitely not a trafficker. I'm sorry about what happened. Vince. Okay?
I still fucking hate you, but I'm sorry about that.
I'm just surprised.
No, I mean, no, seriously, dude hit me up to tell me that he thought that was crazy and fucked up. But this ex, what does she do? She was so mad that there was a girl living in my house. She started hitting people up on Twitter that I had worked with on YouTube, like Baked Salmon, the dude who me and him had made those Chris Hansen videos. She contacts him like, hey, there's a YouTuber, Wes Moast, who uses women, and I want to expose him. So she started contacting people to expose me because I didn't.
Wait, hold on. This is the ex who's made those accusations against you.
This is the meth girl.
Oh my god!
So the meth girl, right? So I'm putting out a video about being accused of trafficking and how fucking crazy this is. She's contacting people that I work with, asking them to make an exposed video about me because I ended a relationship with her 5 months earlier. She's like, and she even had a title because she's like, well, since he stopped talking to me, I've been raped, I've been made homeless, I've been laughed at, and I want to call it "So Deuced" by Wes Moast. Like, she hit him up with the title. She's like, and I'm hoping that we can put this together soon because people are going to want to see this. And why would people want to see that I didn't stay with this girl who smoked meth? That doesn't make me look bad. Like, it really doesn't. And so
yeah, I'm kind of like, what is this bitch on?
No, exactly. So she contacted this one dude I know that I've also worked with, and he was like, "Who are you talking about?" And for whatever reason, he just thought, because she didn't tell him my name, he just thought like this must be connected to Wes because it's fucking crazy. So he's like, "Hey, he said, hey, do you know this girl?" I said, "Fuck yeah, what now?" And he's like, "Yeah, she wants me to make a video about you." And there was a restraining order against her, and she's contacting these people, trying to talk to them about me. And so the police wanted to know where she was so they could rearrest her. And so he ended up getting her information. She had to get a lawyer. The police were going to arrest her that night. All this shit happens. And the next day, after all this, she messages him, "Hey, are you ready to talk?" Like she still really badly wanted to expose me. And then she just kind of went away. She fucked off. And last week, out of nowhere, she's back and she's all over the Chris Hansen had to block her on his channel because she's all over it talking about Wes Moast is a liar. He uses women. You're gonna see he's making a fool of you and all this other crazy shit. And so now she's talking about exposing me for not wanting to be with the girl who smokes meth or smoked meth. Sorry, so I can't.
Was forced to that one time.
I'll be honest. I heard about this like stuff. She's on meth, crow. Fucking yes. I when I heard about this stuff, I was like, this is just fucking nuts. What is this? I gotta ask you about this.
You gotta look.
It's even crazier than I thought.
You gotta bring up some of those tech. Oh well, no, and the story's way crazier because like every supervillain, she has an origin story of when things went wrong for her. And when I tell that story, I think it's really going to open up a lot of people's eyes as to how fucking batshit crazy this girl is. Because it was like one of those moments where I think you better sit down for this. And then she started talking, and I'm like, it was like a sitcom. Like, this can't be real. That can't be the fucking story. But yeah,
what if I already think she's batshit crazy? There's more.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. You haven't seen anything yet, so it's a crazy. That's my next video actually that I'm working on because she's talking about doing this interview and she's gonna make me look like this. I don't know. I really don't know what she says I'm abusive because I didn't allow her to communicate with me after I was done. I cut her off, and that's abusive.
I mean, you did abuse her feelings.
I did abuse her feelings.
There you go.
And she talks about how she's with some dude now, and she calls him her fiance. And all I'm saying is, if that was my girl, it's been a year since I last seen her, and she's still going on about needing to get revenge on Wes Moast, you're not in a very good relationship. Things are going wrong for you.
I gotta say, Wes, I think maybe you've learned that you need better taste in women.
Well, no, and that's the thing. That's the thing, though, Crow, because It was weeks. And as soon as none of that, it wasn't all that craziness beforehand. It was once I was done. You know, like you hear of women who have been stalked by men. They didn't think the guy was a stalker when they met. That's why they went out with them, right? It's always some behavior that you see afterwards, or maybe you see something before that goes like, I don't know if this is a good guy. And then they end things with them, and the dude's showing up at their work and, crazy phone calls. And that was her, because I think the very first red flag was she left her phone in my car. And, on accident, she left her phone in my car, and it was a Saturday or some shit. And I don't know, if I leave my phone in someone's car and I live 5 or 6 miles away, I might drop in. I'll figure a way to get a hold of them. She went on Facebook and contacted every one of my family members who live thousands of miles away to tell them that
every single one of your family members,
every one of them that she could find, to tell them that she left the phone in my car. I don't know if you know who I am or not. I'm his girlfriend, and I left my phone in his car. And I don't talk to my family. That upset me because you don't know my relationship with my family. You don't know my standing with these people, and you're contacting them about a fucking phone. That was the first red flag. And she apologized for that and was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I would never do something like that again. But I saw how obsessive and shit. I mean, she's still, just 2 days ago or 3, because when I found out she was going to be making a video, I contacted her because clearly this girl has mental health issues. I'm like, yo, you're going to make a video about me breaking up with you. It's going to make you look bad. You sound insane. And I have all these receipts, all these hundreds of emails where you're begging me to be with you and tell me you're going to kill yourself if I don't reply to you, and all this crazy off the wall shit. You're begging for my attention. How am I abusing? Muse? No, that's the whole point. This is Methy. This is Methy McCunt face. If that
Eminem. Let's call her that.
That helps you.
Yeah,
oh my god. Okay, so I get a lot of this stuff happened after the fact, right?
Yeah.
But holy shit, man! Holy shit! I've had some crazy exes. Okay, right? I was dating a girl who literally was so pissed off about the fucking food that I was eating. Right? She got fucking just psychotic while we're at my parents' place and demanded that I just eat spinach, right? My mom had just big dinner for everybody, and it's gives me a fucking plate of lasagna, and she looks and goes, "You're a diabetic," and she takes a handful of spinach, puts it on a plate, and just goes, "Eat it." I'm like, oh god, we need to break up right now. But I've never had to deal with any of the shit that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, having a girlfriend forced to eat vegetables.
She should see how you eat now.
I don't think that's
fucking
I'm talking straight up, right? I know this is nowhere near. What's just what the fuck is he talking about?
You fucking.
Okay, so we're at my folks' place. We're at my folks' place, right? My mom just makes dinner for everybody. When my mom makes food, she spends a lot of time, right? Really respects her kitchen, all that stuff, right? Makes lasagna.
Is this attempt to at the story?
took her hours to make this shit, right? And then she serves everybody. My girlfriend at the time looks at my plate and it's like, "You can't eat that." Goes to the fridge, right? It's my folks' place, right? Not her house. Opens it up, looks around, finds a bag of spinach, grabs a handful of the spinach out, tosses it on a plate, and tells me, "Eat that." I'm like, no, that's the worst.
That is the worst. That's literally the worst. Can I tell you a story?
Oh god.
I know, because yours was really bad. Yours was really, really bad. That was bad.
I don't think it's ever gonna.
But allow me to counter with the story. Crow. And Steve, you can rate this one on a scale of 1 to 10 when I'm done. And I won't. Okay. There won't be any cutaways.
Can I rate it?
Okay,
or
good.
Am I not allowed?
Steve is the shit talker, so we want Steve.
Steve was very critical of Wes Moast content.
Yeah, what? he was really, really critical of the Wes Moast content before I got here.
I missed it.
Yeah, he's I don't like it. It's bullshit.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I was just
talking shit.
To be fair, Wes, our first interaction wasn't so pleasant either.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, that's true. Not with Steve. Not Steve though. Steve sat there perfectly fine. Like, is it to live? Is it to live? He had this whole thing going on. And then I get here. I'm sitting
hold on. Was Steve like co-hosting on the channel at that time?
He was a wingman. So he was here.
I was a wingman. I wasn't Aura's replacement yet.
Yeah. No. Okay. You were still around though. Perfect.
Okay. So all right. Let me tell you a story about New Year's Eve.
Oh God.
2019.
That's still really bad.
So I mean, as I'm getting doxxed by Vince on that fateful night, everything kind of going to shit, not really in a celebratory mood. The meth girl is messaging me constantly. Now, at this point, I hadn't spoken to her in a month, and I'm just getting all these messages. And thank you for letting me be a part of your 2020 and all this other type of shit. And 2 a.m., I get a message and it says like, ha ha ha, the word rape gets thrown around so much. It's kind of funny. LOL, Uber fail. I'm going to bed now. Hopefully I see you soon. Shit wasn't going to happen. And then she said something.
God, that would scare the shit out of me. I'd be like, holy shit. I need to find every interaction we've ever had and start documenting it now.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was already dealing with the other shit. So like it didn't even register. And
it's so just like crazy meth lady.
Yeah, right. She had said that someone was trying to barge into the apartment, or someone barged into the apartment.
So the next day, jiggling the door handle.
It was not ours.
That's the other bit.
It might have been Dee Dee, and he had a bag of glitter to throw in her face, because that's what Dee Dee would do to you. If he finds where you live, Dee Dee's going to show up with a bag of glitter, and he's going to throw it in your face. Yeah. So I call her the next day. I see this. I'm like looking at this message. I'm like, wait, is she trying to say like I raped her? I'm gonna call her up. I'm gonna call her up. Like, this works. I'm gonna call her up and find out what the fuck's going on. So I call her. And she's like, oh, my God, I'm so glad to hear from you. I'm like, so what happened? That's all I want to know is what happened. She's like, all right, well, it's kind of a crazy story.
Oh, my God.
What happened? She's like, okay, so, well, you know how my landlord, well, you don't know, but her 2 sons are convicted sex offenders, so they live together in the forest. Okay, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
She's like, they can't live, they live together in the forest, and she went to go visit them for the week. So I'm staying here on my own. Okay, great. Okay. She's like, so last night, New Year's Eve, I'm just kind of hanging out on my own, and there's a knock at the door, and I open it, and there's a woman covered in blood.
What the fuck is happening?
It was okay though, because I was on meth, so I didn't even faze me.
I was forced.
I mean, it does happen on New Year's Eve every now and then. You open the door, and someone's covered in blood.
Okay.
And I go, okay. She goes, and so I let her come in and sleep on the floor. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
Why would you?
Hold on.
You're not that bloody. I mean, like, my floors, I could probably clean blood off that.
Yeah, that's tile right there. And I've got OxyClean, so we're good. And so she let the lady come in and sleep on her floor. I was like, well, what did the police say? And she goes, what do you mean? Like, did you call the police? She said, no.
Did you take her to the hospital?
No. And I said, so what was wrong? She goes, well, I just thought she needed a nap. And I don't know, if I see someone covered in blood, I'm not thinking like, yo, this person needs a nap. They need to lay down. And so
looks a little sleepy.
So you come on in and lay down. So I said, okay. And then she keeps telling the story. She goes, well, so what had happened is she got into a domestic violence situation with her boyfriend. And she had a knife in her hand. That was the other thing. She had a knife with her, and she was covered in blood, and said that she was defending herself against her boyfriend, and that's how the cut had happened, and that's why she was covered in blood. So again, why are you not calling the police? Why is this woman just sleeping on your floor? And what had actually happened was she had stabbed the dog because she thought the boyfriend was cheating or something happened. She stabbed the dog. Dude. And then fled the apartment and went over there. And so someone ended up calling the police. The police came and arrested the bloody woman. And the meth girl, had no idea why the police had arrested her. But in her mind, all police are bad. So she went over to the apartment to like have it out with this guy, because she's going to tell him, hey, you piece of shit, you don't put your hands on women and then you send her to jail. But when she went over there, the guy's like, it's New Year's Eve, girl, let's have some drinks. So they started drinking the tequila, which of course led to sex. And the next morning, she decided she had been sexually assaulted.
That's nice of her to decide that.
Yeah.
This seems like a crazy story.
Oh, it seems, Steve, you're not convinced.
This story seems like a crazy story, Steve. It's just this one. Everything else up till now was good, but this one, oh.
I mean, even so, it seems, Steve, like you're not there yet.
Just sleep on the floor with your bloody knife there.
Yeah, the bloody.
She stabbed a fucking
even
dog.
after you get arrested, I'm gonna go over and confront this guy.
She's gonna go confront him, and then that, of course, as it always happens, you go confront someone. You end up drinking tequila and having sex. I've had confrontations before. Confrontations
that end up with children, right? Like,
I mean, that's how they work if you're a Klingon. So I just thought it was like a crazy fucking story, and it sounded like bullshit to me. And I'm saying, well, call the cops. Why can't? Why not? Because in my experience, whenever you call the police, they arrest you. Well, and I didn't know at the time about her 6 previous arrests, or that would make a lot of sense why she wouldn't want to call the police. She's like, and also he's my neighbor. I don't want it to be weird. Well, yeah, I mean, of course not. You don't want it to be weird when you're, sexually assaulted by the neighbor. You don't want to be that guy, that girl who's calling the police. Oh, look, it's the girl who likes to report rapes. So she wasn't. And I was like, here's the thing.
Considerate for a rape victim. Let's be honest.
What's that?
She sounds very considerate for a rape victim.
Well, yeah, very considerate. And I said, so you're telling me you're comfortable letting this happen to someone else? Like, if this guy really did sexually assault you, you're comfortable with him doing that to someone else, and you'll just be fine with it. She's like, well, it's not my responsibility. I was like, you're right. I said, here's the thing, though. I'm not the kind of person who is around people who say, I won't call the police to commit a sexual assault because the police always arrest you. That's the kind of shit trash says. And I'm just not trash. So you and I have no reason to continue. And that was the last time that her and I spoke, because I really thought she was going to try and blame she was trying to blame me for sexual assault. I want to make sure that shit was cleared. And once I heard that story, I was done. And I was like, don't call me again. I'm done. And that's when everything escalated. That's when the text messages got 10 times longer and way more frequent. That's when she showed up at my house at 7:00 in the morning on a Saturday. It's like 28 degrees outside. She has a handful of money orders and tries to shove them into my hand. And she's like, well, "Can we?" Yeah, exactly. That same face. That was my face.
Okay, sorry. A couple people are a little bit lost. Okay, so Turtle, Grim, I think you guys just joined up. Let's be very clear here, right? What we're talking about. Not Muse, right? Because we already talked about Muse. We're talking about
Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem. We're talking about Wes Moast, meth head, former ex who's a meth head.
Allegedly, at least once. So
she described going to a crack den. I don't know.
Yeah, to a trap house, dude.
It's his business aura. It's a taxable business.
It is, dude. That's what a trap house is. Yeah, you can fucking claim a brick at the end of tax season.
So yeah, it was and so that's when everything got really crazy as far as her just showing up at my house randomly, and each time I wouldn't respond to these messages, and what really started the reason why I was concerned in March is because she had created in her head this break that we were on, this 3-month break. And at first she'd asked me, hey, can we take a break? Maybe you'll give me 3 months to get my life on track and, really get myself together. And then you'll see that you love me and you want to marry me and you want to be with me and we can adopt some kids, like all this crazy shit. I'm not responding to any of it.
This was the meth he was sending?
Yeah, this is after that last time we spoke when she talked about her alleged sexual assault, and I didn't want anything to do with her, so I'm definitely not going to give her 90 days. And but it went from asking me for 90 days to assuming that we were taking this 90-day break, and she started saying things like, "Well, when I come to your house in March, we'll see how different things are," or when you see me again next month, you're going to see how things have really changed. And she just didn't understand that. I mean, you're sending me thousands and thousands of words of communication, and you get nothing back in return. Like, you should just stop. And she would say things like, you think I'm obsessive and crazy, but you're the one who's wrong because you won't let me communicate with you. Do you know how abusive this is? Yeah, I know how abusive this is.
I mean, think is a very, I think at that point you knew.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty clear how abusive, the situation had become.
Oh God, Methany, Jesus.
Oh,
that's
like
perfect.
Methany is the perfect name for your ex.
Yeah, I like Methany. That's a good one. Methany doesn't mean no babies. You are.
Thank you, Jess. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, we talked about Nicotra. We talked about Muse. Look, I understand that that judge, the stupidity there, right? We talked about the hypocrisy of like fucking put on Black Lives Matter and everything, being a white girl, and then fucking falsely accusing you and like basically trying to like stream, like, what is it, like film you being arrested and shit?
Yeah.
Like, psychotic. We talked about this. We talked about Methany. Who's now very upset. Like, how long were you with Methany?
Weeks.
Right. Weeks.
It was weeks.
Okay. So
this time last year, like literally weeks.
And now she wants to come out with video about how you're abusive or something.
That I use women because she's like, you used me.
Oh, welcome to the club. I mean, like,
she's like, you just wanted me. You knew that I was. What she's saying is, you didn't even give me a chance to be your girlfriend because you just used me. So stop calling me your ex because you just wanted me for sex and you didn't give me a chance. But if you want to talk, please email me.
So what? Wait. Well, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
He knows better than to do that.
Yeah. That's a trap. That's a fucking trap. But like, I'm sitting there going like, then what's her relevance to any of this? I knew this guy for like a couple weeks and he didn't want to be my boyfriend. So now I'm going to do a video about how he uses women because he didn't want to be with me. Like, what?
Like I said, it's not, she's been trying to make this video since my video about Muse came out. And she says it. I see him exposing some girl who tried to have him arrested for trafficking. Well, I think people should know that he used me. And it's how do the two things fucking connect? Like you're talking about felony level crimes of reporting false crimes and potentially having someone jailed or worse versus, well, I wanted to be with this guy and he didn't want to be with me. And yeah, I did meth, but so what? Methany does that sometimes. That's why I'm Methany.
I like that one. Crystal Methany.
I love that. Nice. Jess is fucking beautiful.
So, yeah, and that was my 2020 because that's the fucked up thing is that I dealt with Nicotra, I dealt with Muse, and I dealt with this all in 2020. And that's pretty crazy.
I do have to point this out. Okay, it's like reverse Forrest Gump. One confident person surrounded by retards.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Sorry.
Well, who said that? What was that, Rorschach?
No, that was Ashton Fan 1.
Yeah, Ashton Fan. We have Rorschach over here. Crystal Methany. That's a good one too. I like that.
Yeah, these are great. Yeah.
Every time Wes pops on Twitter, it's always some fucked up thing. Every time.
Yeah, like I don't like. It's not a place that I go a lot. I don't really fuck with Twitter, but when I do, it's because I have just some "Are you fucking kidding me?" shit to share. But look, honestly, I know you pulled up my Twitter earlier. There's some messages there. There's some text messages. If you
God, okay, let me go over.
They're all from within the last.
Honestly, at this point, I'm really trying to switch over to Parler. I'm tired of Twitter.
Why?
That you can actually.
I've seen you put that in your name. What the fuck, Crow? You're trying to go to Twitch and Parler?
Just sell out.
Well, Twitch. What the fuck? No, actually, the reason why I said that is because you can actually, put like an entire statement out on Parler. Whereas like Twitter, it's so short. It's like you have to like limit down what you're saying, just like get jabs in on people versus actually being able to say something.
Do you want people to read your stuff, or do they want them to just be like?
I want to actually be able to read what people are trying to say, right? I want to be able to read what people are trying to say. Fuck Twit longer.
I'm not in for reading anybody's novels. Like,
I mean, like if someone's trying to make a point over something, I'd rather them have the ability to make that point. If someone posts a fucking novel, I ain't gonna fucking read it. Period.
They try to cancel a VA.
You can post a picture of text.
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah, that's what you could do. Like I did for these.
I guess.
Just do it your way.
I'm very anti-parlor.
Twitter.
Yeah, I am.
Like, I always say this, right? Twitter is the one place that even Disney wanted nothing to do with, right?
I think Tumblr doesn't want to
get the hell out of here, Disney. I don't want your fucking shit.
I'm just saying, Disney will go do fucking movies next to a concentration camp, and they said Twitter was too toxic.
Because people will call them out. Like, that's why.
I would want to leave Twitter too.
Yeah, for real. If I filmed next to a concentration camp, well, that's too toxic. We don't want to fuck with Twitter because everyone be calling them out.
Right? Fuck.
So that top one, right?
I'm just saying, if you can do a fucking if you can do a movie next to a concentration camp, but Twitter freaks you out, maybe something's wrong with Twitter. I don't know. Okay, so we're here on your Twitter. So 1 week before my stock was arrested, this is one of hundreds of emails and messages sent to me in 3 months, and I didn't answer. This is Muse here.
No, this is Metheny.
This is Metheny. Okay.
This is Metheny.
I gotta clarify. Okay.
This is Patrick. Yeah, go ahead.
Metheny, yeah.
And this was 2 months. This was 2 months after I had.
If you would have believed me when I said I needed time, just 3 months like I asked, if you would have waited for me to get the point I'm at now, if you would have trusted and listened to me, if you wanted to be my friend and lover and Dom. Wait,
bro, do you want me to put on sad music to while you read this?
Oh my god, I do. Hold on. What the fuck does she mean by Dom? You want to be?
Are you not familiar with what a Dom is? No, not a dominatrix. That's a
no. I think like Dom. I'm just saying, man, you're into some kinky shit here.
Well, like Wes is into What's the stories?
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, so she wanted.
I gotta find some copyright-free sad music.
Got it.
No, I already figured. I already found it.
I do it. Play it.
Okay, hold on.
I heard something and went away.
I
turned it off. He said he got it. Like,
guys, please. I'm a professional here. All right. There's only one way of doing sad music, from your phone. Okay.
I was just doing that.
If you wanted to be my friend and lover and Dom, I wouldn't have let you down. I knew where I was, and I knew if you wanted me to be the best version of myself, that I was going to have to get myself through some ugly situations. I'd have to stop living in denial. I always told myself I would never be someone who denies something that's happening, blissfully ignorant. You're telling me despite my past, despite my intelligence, and despite my will, you choose to not be in my life or allow me in yours. What was the point of finding me and telling me how badly you wanted me when it's not true? Why do you choose to be biased towards me, judge me unfairly, and compare me to your ex-wife? Why did you call me pessimistic if you were the one who was pessimistic? Oh, she spelled that wrong. I'm optimistic, but now I'm nothing but a margin to you. Somebody you stay away from because you think I'm dangerous, unhealthy, just because the meth. I have never been so misinterpreted before in my life. I only take meth 5 times a week. You were sweet, caring, and open-minded for only 5 minutes.
5 times a week?
No.
Yeah, that's improvised. Okay. I don't think anyone would ever say that.
I don't, Wes. This is not my words here.
I mean, that's only once a day, and taking.
I let you inside me
because
you told me I trust you, and you wouldn't leave. Sex is more than just sex for me. You should have known that. I'm proving you wrong, and if that's not enough for you, regardless of the fact you said I could call you, tell you anything, and for what? To judge me and use it against me?
If you'd have met me now, I'd have all these stories for you, and you'd have accepted them as you did the stories I had during the time we lost contact. No matter how you spin it, a relationship is a choice, for better or worse, sickness and health. Were you two getting married?
No.
You only dated for 2 weeks, right?
No, it was like 4 weeks, but it was like I didn't see her every day.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I was worse than unhealthy.
This is pretty insane.
And you really hurt my feelings. And they wouldn't give me any more meth. I can't read the final sentence.
Rorschach says, a single tear leaks from my eye as Crow reads beautiful poetry.
Yeah. And that's just one. There are messages that, when I took the screenshots, it took me 9 separate screenshots to get it all.
Wait, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. There is more. Hold on. Let me go back.
Comedy by blank.
Method.
I moved into the A great place. The landlord roommate is a political, an environmentalist, into health and not a hippie, but older, independent.
Real quick, this is the message that got her arrested, because this was weeks after I told her to never contact. But you see, it sounds like we're in the middle. Like I know anything going on in her life, and she's just hitting me up with like this fucking crazy long message. I don't care about any of this shit. All right, now go on.
Okay. Let me go back and restart the music.
It's comedy by Metheny. I'd really like that. I don't cheat.
So the point is, I can have friends over, but this isn't a chill spot. No overnight guests or a hangout place or a meth room. Blank helped me and paid for it. I am waiting for my unemployment and some other things that I haven't told you. Like crack. I'm getting into crack cocaine now. Long story short,
stepping it up.
She flips. After saying it's okay for him to come over, he thinks it's a race thing. I don't know. All I know is that I can't trust anyone. I need you to understand that while stupid shit like this happens, like how racism or unfair biased judgments or little meth addiction, I don't get it. It hurts. I'm crying myself to sleep tonight in a place I thought was mine, without any meth. Blank said he just won't come over, ever. He was helping me move, nothing more. Times like this, I wonder if I'm crazy. But my grandma and Blank say I should get more meth. I didn't do anything. She complained, and I thought I had a lot of things. Mine is for a room.
Mine is for a room. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
She has a whole house. I don't need this right before finals. I was so anxious about downsizing and unpacking and not having any more meth. Do I pack and start Googling? I'm getting better with handling my own trauma, but right now, tonight, a hug would have helped. And a little crack, a little delicious methy crack. I'll be okay. I'll figure it out. And it will work out. I'm smart. I'm awesome. I need to relax these facial muscles so my skin doesn't wrinkle, because the meth has already destroyed my teeth.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do that.
I wanted to read it without showing people so they could really be involved in the movie.
Yeah, that took me along on a ride, but
trip down memory lane.
And like I
said, great taste in women.
Those are just 2 of the messages. There's hundreds, and I was going through them, and I mean, there's so much poetry, so much shitty poetry, and so after she's arrested and stuff, she's posting on her Facebook about how she can't wait to see me in court because she's going to be like working out and get her hair did, and I'm not going to know what hit me because she's going to be so sexy. So she's really thinking that we're going to go to court, and I'm going to be like, you know what, Your Honor, she looking good. Maybe I'll remember it differently. Yeah, that's another one.
Oh God! All right, hold on. Okay, no, this is angry time. Okay, this is where she's trying to expose you, right?
Yeah. So this is So she used to talk about me a lot on her Facebook, and she would like really hype me up and try and share my videos, and no one cared. Like no one cares about anything she says on Facebook. But so she had told people about the great Wes Moast months back, and then this is like a month ago, out of the blue, she needs to tell people that Wes Moast is the most piece of shit.
Okay, I've got it. I've got the perfect music for this.
Angry music.
Remember when I told you about the YouTube channel Wes Moast? Because I knew the guy and I thought he was an adult when he said he was into me? LOL, yeah, no. He's a piece of abusive shit who makes videos talking about the same thing over and over again. Just like Steve said. If he is
the fucking outtake, the cutaways.
So, yeah, he tries to take me to court for cyber harassment because he ghosted me. And the years of therapy teaching me to use words, healthy words, totally overtook me. Why are you ghosting me when you say you're into me? Why do you expect me to be mentally stable when I don't have any math? When it was just 2 months ago, I moved out of an apartment where my roommate was assaulting me. Not Jared. The original crazy Wesley S. Why should I consider dating a Wesley?
I got it. I forgot. I completely left the story out. Now, there's some background that needs to be heard here. Now, first of all, on that last message, the previous one where she was talking about moving into that place and the guy who had helped her move in, she would later accuse him of also sexually assaulting. She said he was sexually assaulting her every night. He was forcing her to get drunk and then sexually assaulting her every night while they were living together.
Forced her to get drunk?
And said that's my fault because if I would have been with her, then she wouldn't have been with him and none of that would have happened. So she was going to get a lawyer for that. Which, I mean, I couldn't even imagine going to court and have to defend myself for breaking up with someone. But that's what she wanted. And so here, the Wesley S person, because that could be confusing. When she was arrested 7 months prior to getting arrested with me, that guy's name was also Wes. He's mentally retarded.
What if she had, dude? What if she's
hold on? So when I met her, she was engaged to this dude, right? And I was still married. She was engaged to this dude, and then I guess they all lived together in an apartment. It was him, her dude, her, Methany, and his adult son who is mentally handicapped and living off of the state. And they were all living together. Her and the dude broke up, and so Methany was like, "Oh well, I'll just date the son." And so she was dating the son. Also claimed he was sexually assaulting her. Ended up beating his ass, or so I don't really know what happened, but that she ended up getting one of her arrests was for fucking with a vulnerable adult, like an actual vulnerable adult, and so that's the Wesley S that she's talking about. But you notice that when she talks about it, she's like, not the guy I got arrested for abusing. She's like, it's always her. She's the victim in this situation. It's always a misunderstanding. Anytime anything happens, that's why you call the police and they arrest you because of a misunderstanding, not because that you've been violating restraining orders and you DUIs and all this other shit. Okay, that was the background that needed to be heard. So totally normal story. I'm sure you've heard it 100 times. Girls dating dude, they break up, and then she dates the adult son who is mentally retarded. It happens every day.
Totally normal story.
It's a story as old as time itself.
What?
What kind of Inception shit if she's getting the Wes's confused? Could you imagine that shit? She's got the wrong Wes the whole time. Could you imagine that shit?
So there's and then there's Wes Moast. Why would you add that into your statement? Because that's just going to confuse people. So keep it brief, people. When you are writing your shitty messages about me, don't add in too many layers to this cake, or it'll fall over.
Yeah, I mean, right.
From Steve.
I actually got to go. I got to go to work. So,
dude, thank you for being able to make it on, buddy.
Or
we all miss you on the channel.
Yeah. So, Wes, thank you again for taking the time to show up.
Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, man, no problem. Y'all take care. Adios.
Good night, man. All right, well, Wes. Okay, so I put Wes's channel link in the description. Okay, you guys need to check him out. All right, I know Steve doesn't like the cutaways. I like the cutaways. Okay, I think it's fun.
I don't know. I deal with some dark subject matter, right?
Thank you.
I like to add in some palate cleansers into it to I don't want to make a bunch of dark content, and I've always dealt with tragedy of any type with comedy. So, I make videos as like the type of videos that I would enjoy. And I don't expect everyone to like it, especially not Canadians.
Definitely not Canadians.
I basically make videos specifically so Canadians won't like them, and it looks like it's working. So thanks for that, Steve. Just a little slower, so the cutaways are like, "What's going on, eh?" And then they get lost. They get lost in the metric counting of the video, and so it's fine, Steve. We're good. But yeah,
not enough, maple syrup and hockey. In there.
not enough Tom Hortons. I appreciate you guys, Tim Hortons. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I know it sounds like I was able to talk a lot about metheny and the fiction, but like that's the crazy part. I'm scratching.
Look, I think it's good to get it all out there, right? Because I heard some stuff, right? And I'm not like, I didn't immediately, as you start passing judgment or anything, I heard some stuff. I was like, dude, I've talked to this West guy, right? I really doubt it's as bad as some people were saying. Like, especially like the accusations and everything. I was just like, it sounds like it's fucking bullshit, right? But those messages are just fucking way over the line, right? I wish you the best of luck in the videos you got coming forward. Like, I'm going to be tuning in for them. And it is good to see that you're going to be coming back and doing more. Actually, let me not put words in your mouth here. You said that you're kind of you took a break from YouTube because of all the drama and everything.
Toxicity, man. I was done.
So are you gonna just move forward and kind of just?
I've got videos with. I got videos with Debs OG. I've got more stuff I'll be doing with Chris Hansen. I've got some stuff I'll be doing outside of YouTube, actually, some big opportunities, and so yeah, I'm back, and this is what brought me back. Getting served with some bullshit domestic violence charge will do that to you. So I'm back on that platform. I think predators, like actual predators, need to be exposed. And if you guys know of anyone who was in a relationship that ended prematurely, please, I'm looking for tips on additional stories, because breaking up with someone is a predatory crime, from what I understand. So
would you call Mace more of a predator or a scammer?
Mace.
Or Muse, sorry, not Mace.
What the fuck?
I like maze because it's like it's a puzzle. You're trying to figure out this maze. Yeah, but in the States, it's Muse. Now, what was the question?
Do you think she's more of a scammer or a predator?
I think predator. I mean, there's that fish. What are they? Anglerfish, and they have that little light thing they hang above their head, and they use that to attract prey into their web. And I feel like anyone who uses alleged ailments and dog and feeding tubes and constantly talking about trauma and healing to bring people into their circle to learn, I'm going to infiltrate this community so that I can learn more about EDS. I can learn more about autism so that I can take on these traits on my own, so that when I'm writing about it or making videos about it, it's going to bring more people to me. So that when I say I need to move because my roommate's abusive or I'm in a domestic violence situation, these are more people that will be more likely to donate to my Patreon or donate to my GoFundMe. So yeah, I think predators come in all shapes and sizes and all different types, but I definitely feel, an anglerfish is a predator just like a lion is. Obviously one's more dangerous than the other, right? But they're both predators. So I think anyone who's manipulating people into their web, and then as soon as that person decides they're not going to put up with it anymore, they try and involve the law or anything they can to disrupt this person's life, it's very predatory. Yeah. And I feel like anyone who, until she faces actual charges, because what this is going to do is embolden her, because she was able to get this restraining order by doing nothing. I mean, the judge it was a lay down. So this is going to embolden her to create more false charges against people, and it's either going to end very badly for her or for someone else. And that's why, yeah, I think she's a predator, and I think that that predators like that, who are just out there in the general public where they can pose a threat to people, should be exposed.
Definitely exposed, if not prosecuted. I think.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's ironic that she's going after you legally when she's doing these fake GoFundMe's and shit.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. And, the extortion with, if you don't give me money, I'm going to take you to court. And then we're in court. And the judge didn't even think like, hey, that seems odd. Why are you in court the first time? Because you're taking me to court now because I sent that email. But in the first court case, there was no email sent. It was because of the videos she wanted to say were domestic violence. So, and she said, I will find a way to take you to court. And she found a way to take me to court.
She's a woman,
Yeah. But not, well, and that's the thing is, like I said, people send me messages. And the latest is that she's transitioning to a male. So.
Huh.
But I've also heard there were also videos about that before on her old channel where she was lying about being on testosterone before and got called out for it and had to walk that back. So you just never know. With people like this who just need attention, who will make up any claim they can, or maybe it's to infiltrate another community. Who knows? Because you run out of communities to go into, and when you're known like that, I mean that has to be the fearful thing for her, is that it's like being on the run. These guys on America's Most Wanted, they're in Mexico, their whole adult life, and fearful that they'll get pulled over for a fucking tail light out, because that's how a lot of these guys get caught, right? You get caught for some little minor thing. So yeah, you can go and infiltrate another community and change your screen name and everything else, but those videos are there and they're out there, and all it takes is one person seeing it and going like, holy shit, this is that person. And then you're starting all over again. So you run out of places to do that. You run out of areas to do that. And eventually you're just shit out of luck.
Oh, good night, Kai.
That's when you got to turn into a cult leader. And that's when...
Yeah, you run your own shit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then they won't question you. They'll just be like,
they don't question you. They do it, yeah, and they believe everything you tell them, and you're a victim and everything else. So that's what I'll read. Well, but and that's funny you bring that up, Steve, because she claimed that she was raised in a cult. She was kidnapped by a cult, actually.
I'm just gonna press X out on her entire life story.
Really?
Yeah. I know it's very believable, and maybe I'm just going on a limb here. It's just, I think it's all made up and fake and phony. I think she's just mentally unwell.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's your theory. I guess we have something else to disagree on.
There's no evidence to support anything that Crow has said,
or anything that she has said. That's the best part. You don't need evidence. Everyone can just yell. Who's yelling the loudest? That's who I want to be.
Right.
Wes,
that's where that says.
So when should we expect the next video? Is that going to be on New Year's?
No. So this video is going to be on New Year's, but I'm going to make this video about Methany, because she's talking about making, she wants to make a video, and I'm not going to just let that happen. I need to, because, with these other people, there's some other guy who made a video about me claiming I stole his girlfriend. I talked to her. I'm not even joking. There's some guy, I don't know who he is or who his girlfriend is, but he claimed I talked to his girlfriend, and the next day she broke up with him. And he's like, Wes Moast ruined my love life. And so, I mean, there's people making crazy accusations. Hold
on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Whether or not it happened, okay? You're telling me some guy went to YouTube to make a video saying that you cucked him.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to send you this video.
Yeah, I need to see this.
It's like the most hilarious shit I've ever seen.
Why would you go like look? I believe you that it didn't happen that way, right? I believe you, right? But from this person's perspective, why the fuck would you do a video saying, I got cucked by that guy, he took my girl away? Like, what the fuck? That is some beta male shit right there.
It's a narrative that I'm just using women. I'm just out here. But that's the thing, though. It's the same camp who's also backing Muse. And her claim was that I was so desperate, I needed to pay some woman and fly her all the way out the country to have sex with her. But at the same time, they're working with Methany, who's saying that all I'm doing is using women and going through them like fucking tissue paper. So which one is it? Like, am I the lonely guy who's paying to fly women out, or am I like banging so many women here? Because that's what she said. Oh, that's what he does. He keeps clothes and he does this, and then he'll go on to the next one. Like, well, which one is it? Who am I? Am I that guy or am I that guy?
Oh, Rorschach is letting us know that he got
there,
Dr. Manhattan.
Pick a story and stick with it. But so yeah, that's the next video I'm making, and then I have a video I'm doing with Debs OG that's unrelated to my channel. That'll probably be on Chris Hansen's channel, and that Vince video is going to be on New Year's Eve.
Okay, I'm particularly looking forward to the Vince video. I'm not gonna lie.
That's going to be a good. I'm telling you, I know you think you heard a lot about the Metheny story tonight, but that was scratching. That was just.
But I read through. Look, I'm dying right now. Okay, and I read through what 4.5 photos. Right, I read through 4.5 photos. I assume you've got even more.
Well, yeah, I mean, and when I say that's just one day, that's just one part of one day, because I would continue. They would just come in every 7 minutes. And then they would always be like, I'm never going to mess with you again. Fuck you, you piece of shit. And then the next week, like, I had a dream about you. I was wearing this red dress on a balcony. And I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Man. Okay, so did you said you had that video of that one guy whining about you?
Oh yeah, I'll send you that. I'm not going to send it to you. I don't want them to get any attention. So
yeah, no, I'm not. I'm gonna watch it privately, guys.
I'll send it to you offline. The only reason that I even addressed the Metheny situation is because this is like a real person miles from my house who spent actual time with me, was around my kid and shit. So for her to try and come out and act like this is anything other than some heartbroken girl who's mad I didn't want to be with her, I'm gonna fucking embarrass her. Because I was leaving her alone. I wasn't going to talk about her. People think I overshare shit in my life. I left this completely quiet for a really long time. And so she's forcing me to make her look like this crazy, unhinged person because she wants to tell people he used me and wouldn't give me a chance to be his girlfriend.
I mean...
Okay, well,
it'd just be crazy, right?
All right. Hey, Wes, can I preemptively invite you back on in the future, because this has been just a fun episode for me?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I like talking shit. So
yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Fire Steve to leave.
Fuck.
All right,
Steve, we're going to have to talk about your future employment. Wes, I'll see you again in the future.
In Steve's place.
Okay, so just, guys, everybody say thank you to Wes for coming on tonight, sharing all of this with us, which has just been amazing. Personally, thank you, Wes, again for coming on the stream. I know that our first interaction was not very good because I sent you that questionnaire and technically Ora sent it, and I thought he was gonna.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was gonna read through.
All he did was apologize beforehand. Like, these are not my words.
Yeah.
These are not my words.
We thought he was gonna clean it up a bit, but
I thought he was.
He didn't do shit. He just gave it.
But we will definitely get Wes back on in the future. If any of you enjoyed the stream tonight, look forward to that. Definitely subscribe to Wes Moast's channel. He's currently, like you said, working with Chris Hansen and everything. Now, I've had my issues with some things Chris Hansen's done, but at the same time, I was kind of like, dude's got to make his money. Fuck it. But I mean, the fact that he's working with you now, I mean, personally, to me, gives that man more credibility. Okay. I'm not kidding, because look, I went through your content, and even if I disagree with your opinion on something, right, it's clear that you do at least take the time to look into it, research it, right? You don't just jump the gun and start fucking off, so I can definitely appreciate that. Grim said Wes Moast.
Oh, yeah. I get that a lot.
Fuck that, Steve. Fuck that, Steve.
I said he's our dad. That's like, or you're our dad.
Now, just so you guys know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. First off, we will be covering the Without a Crystal Ball situation, the doxing of Creepy Art Show. We'll be talking about Steve's video being stricken down by someone. The one that you were talking about today.
I don't know if it's going to get struck. We got to wait till tomorrow to see. I hope it doesn't.
You guys are about to cover that Without a Crystal Ball situation, and I was gonna jump because Debs OG had a run. She was always getting shit talked by Without a Crystal Ball. Well, more her daughter Farrah Abraham, but
oh really?
I mean, you know that Deb's OG's daughter is Farrah Abraham, right?
Yeah, no, I knew that, but I didn't know that Without a Crystal Ball was like attacking them.
Well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't attack Farrah Abraham? I mean, you know,
I mean, yeah,
you're doing shit, you know, like that's what you're talking about. Teen Mom, you're going to talk about Farrah Abraham. So, but I guess they kind of had a meeting back in January or whatever, and smoothed everything over. But for a minute, I was going to have Debs give her her opinion on the whole situation, and that'd have been kind of cool.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Because she actually has.
Yeah, she won't because they cleared everything up, so she's staying out of it. We're gonna work on something else. She's actually gonna be in my Metheny video. So,
well, you know, honestly, nice. that look, it would be interesting to hear her take on it. But I agree. I do respect that she's, you know, she said like we've already kind of like buried the hatchet and everything.
I don't want to keep going on about it.
Yeah, that's actually I like it when people. Because you know, I know people will say, yeah, we're good, and then just want to fucking stab people in the back immediately.
That's the one thing I'll say about Deb. You know, like people, I know when you watch her videos and stuff, she seems like, holy shit, what's going on here? But dude, she's like the sweetest lady. Super. Dude, the day I went to court, at 4:00 in the morning, I had a message from her wishing me luck that day. You know, I'm like, for her to remember and for it to be on her mind, like that's really cool.
That is really sweet. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing her in the Metheny video. I look forward to seeing that. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Without a Crystal Ball situation. We're going to talk about Steve's video. What was it like? A privacy complaint or a guideline strike? What did they hit you with?
Yeah, it's just a privacy complaint. So it was like,
didn't you? Okay,
hours. He said
didn't you like literally blur everything out in that video?
Yeah, I did. So, and then the timestamp was at 000, which is literally like an Augie tweet. So I don't know what the fuck he means. There's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there. So I'm going to assume that after the 48 hours is up that they won't remove the video. But if they think that there's something that violates a privacy, whatever, then I guess they'll remove it.
Yeah, he's just harassing you at that point. He's just harassing you at that point.
All right, well, let him harass. I don't give a fuck. I mean, my other video got struck down. I got a warning on my channel now for like, did you know who George Floyd Gaming is?
I had no clue.
Yeah, well,
did you insult his content and his cutaways?
Dude, go look him up. He's Bad News Bears, but like just showing his content got it like violated terms of service policy.
Oh, really?
An unlisted video. Yeah.
Let's see if we can figure out a way around that on stream tomorrow.
I wouldn't do it. Like, you already have a warning. You'll get struck, and then you won't be able to.
I legit got a warning for talking about how Carrie Hilson was spreading a COVID conspiracy theory, and it's not like it's not like I got hit when I did the video. I got hit like 6 months after I did the video. That's what's pissing me off about that one. 6 months later.
That's crazy.
Dude, it was
because you weren't monetized 6 months ago. They didn't give a
I know,
fuck.
that's so fucked up. Like, whatever. What's up? Sorry, my Jasmine came into the room earlier. She let the cats in, and one of them got stuck in here.
What happened?
All right.
What happened?
No, like whenever they come into my office, they always run around through everything, and so the younger one just knocked out my lights. Okay, guys. Well, that's a good sign that we need to end the stream right now. Just want to say thank you again to all our Patreon members. Turtle, Pixlexia, Rev, Alexa Graham, Luna Karanina, Geeky Pixie, Steve DeLive, Jess, Kat Thomas, Julian Cyan, Dagger, Ali, Mr. Holmesley, Katie Ambro, Lauren S., Ravenous Hound, Chris Anonymous, Jonathan Murillo, Origami Maria, and Devil Hunter Nero. And again, we will be giving away one copy of Cyberpunk 2077 to our Patreon members on January 1st. It'll be raffled off to anyone who is currently on the Patreon at that point. $1 is all you need to join, and 3 copies will be given away to our subscribers. All we have to do is hit 1,200 subs to get to that to that goal for you guys. Do me a favor, just share these videos, share these streams. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll go ahead and see you here tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern to talk about Without a Crystal Ball and Steve doing bad stuff and getting his channel into trouble.